It's Robs a little too late. GG well played as SPG. Completely getting obliterated by the side there of Alpha 7. That was a very risky rotation that they embarked on. And of course Alpha 7 was there to tell them, no, you do not do such. I can understand why the rotation did come through from SPG, but to be honest, this is what you need to be expecting from, you know, high tier lobbies like this, because, you know, you're not too sure, or you can't beat your chest to say that there is no team that will be on that western front end just because the playing path was on that east. You know, some of these unexpected plays is what you're supposed to be expecting. I would have, you know, I'd have expected or preferred that the side of SPG stopped somewhere at the northern side of that new circle. Maybe send one scout out to try to see if that path is clear. And, you know, it's better to lose one player in that game than to lose all four as they've done right now. So, you know, you just got to count your you know, your blessings, you know. It's a small price to pay for salvation if you lose just the scouts. Definitely not the full team. But anyway, looking at SPG make those improvements as we go into the next couple of games. Zones still looking quite occupied. 7 still holding a very long split, really. 7th esports or 7th element somewhere close to the center. The same thing can be said about the INTENCE game right now. See them having their whole squad just holding up somewhere around together, not really going for that split. 7 on the other hand though, sending Revo out looking for more. And on that southeastern front end, we do have this idea of CFMG. It's also looking like RBG or R3G looking to get started too on that southern edge, southern front as they get started. Genesis Esports looking for that push, and Carillo with that wonderful spray on the 3x scope, able to find one knock, and you can tell they do not want to sleep on that push as Top G does fall. And now it's going to be down to the last member there. It's going to be Waterboy looking to hold on the fort and building. DBS in the hand, not quite able to find the knock, but that is the distraction that they need as another player there for Genesis Esports does fall. And Alpha 7, they have unlocked something else in this game. That zone moves up towards the north. We lose REINCE in the meantime. And A1 Esports looking to push up onto CFMG though on that south eastern edge. I did point that out earlier. For situation, if you're looking at it, they do have a couple looking for those angles as A1NB look for the revives, and T24 holding up quite nicely. The revive does, I think it does come through up onto the RUKH. Actually no, since it's still on the floor, more shots still getting fired. A minute and 54 seconds as that blue zone starts to encroach, starts to close slowly but surely. And 7th element, they realize they cannot waste too much time in this engagement. They need to get started, you know. So they start to bleed out. So A1NB will have to hold on to their fort for the time being, using a whole lot of smoke grenades. But the question is, would they make it out early? As we do see Sketch driving on the side there. The sidelines is being seen there by T24, looking for the shots but cannot find it as Sketch is able to escape. Is that going to be the same for the rest of the players there from A1NB? As we see them get into those vehicles, it's a very great rotation if they're able to pull it off. As they're heading up straight towards that eastern front. 7th element not quite going for the chase just yet. They're wondering how they've let these players slip out of their fingers, really. But NB Esports though, looking to be the ones that they push it towards. Oh, T24, you're not going to let it go. Hitman falls. And the same thing can be said about 6-9 or K9 actually for the side of A1NB. And 7th element laying down justice towards the side of A1NB, looking for more of the push as Sketch grabs that revive up onto K9. 7th element, T24 down, looking to going for that push. A little bit of a support onto the player there, Goku Bots, who's just holding on this fort. But hey, Goku Bots showing that they do not need that much help. Finds that one knock. Sketch in that vehicle, trying to be very sketchy. He's not spotted yet, as the players there from 7th element do not spot him just yet. The grenade is currently being thrown, and it's a lot of smokes now currently being thrown in that vehicle. But Sketch currently playing this very, very sketchy. It's not been spotted just yet, but the vehicle explosion finds him, and that player just wanted to casually destroy that vehicle just for more cover, but it didn't work out. But anyway, RUKH Esports flying in, getting the knocks onto the side of NB Esports, and that is going to be 3 knocks that they're able to find there. The last player there from NB Esports not quite close to their teammates, and RUKH Esports looking to increase their number of eliminations. We're down to the final 6 teams. NB Esports find themselves in a whole lot of trouble as 7th element do not want any of that northeastern trouble. They seem to want to go towards that southern front end. And now 3G just looking to hold on Not too much stress, not really disturbing. They're not looking for too much of a trouble. Just holding up, being quiet. And Alpha 7, we've not really heard from them. They've been on 5 eliminations for quite a while. I mean, that's owing to the fact that there hasn't been too many people on that western front end. For RUKH ESPORTS dominating from the north, we've seen them, you know, dominating these type of circles. So I'm not too surprised to see them actually doing the Lord's work out here. To get here another zone shift, really. And just set up quite nicely. Dividing that zone into two, there is a road. And Alpha 7 is on the entire western part of the road. We do see the rest of the teams, or majority of the teams, being on that eastern side. Alpha 7, though, looking for that push up onto the side of R3G. It does look like it's only a matter of time before that fight does get started. And there we go, the grenades to find one of the knocks onto the side of R3G. Alpha 7. Revo does find yet another knock. We're just seeing that on the elimination feed there. Now NB Sports though, still out there with the last player left, looking for a way to hold down the fort. But Alpha 7 now, looking to continue up on that push. There's a little bit of a third party coming in through. That's a nice play coming in through from Vaz. And he looks for two now with that pre-fires coming in through. Mythic down to a slider of HP. And here comes the shot. Karili actually on the slider of HP. Does get tagged up, but Senab coming in from the side would find a complete elimination. And that'll be a GG well played as we lose our 3G. Players there from 7th element had a little bit of those shots now. Want a little bit of the action though, as we just see them peeking into the building. It's just T24 happening to be the scouts for that team. Just looking to gather as much information as possible. Alpha 7 will hold on to the compound there on the south. And 7th Esports also looking to just give them a little bit of a wrap around. And Alpha 7, just after I called them out for being quiet for a while, we see them actually get 3 more eliminations, increasing their counts to 8. So now RUKH ESPORTS has to be the one on the chase. But RUKH ESPORTS able to capitalize on that fight that Alpha 7 was embarking on. As now they hold a very long split across both sides of the maps. You could almost call it a 2-2 splits. As you see how they're spread, 2 players there on that west, 2 players on the east. Looking to hold down the force, but Intense game spot a weakness in the side of 7th Esports. And they are pushing up onto it, that one. They're capitalizing on it. 7th Esports looking to hold down in the little shack right now. It's going to be T24. Seeing T24 be an absolute menace for the rest of the teams in the lobby. But the revives, though, not looking like a very plausible option for 7th Esports. As the thirst does come through, Divine is down. RUKH ESPORTS looking to close up on the gap there in the zone, drawing closer and closer, but Intense game still alive. Doing quite the number of work up as a full squad. Same thing can be said about Alpha 7. And RUKH ESPORTS looking to see if they can grab that revive onto defaults. It might be a little bit tricky. They do get it up. But will Intense game allow them slide just like that? Eugene trying to clear out the edges of the circle, which is a nice play. I mean, there's only 13 players left, so they're trying to see if they can pick up any scrappy players out there in the zone. Alpha 7 still alive, playing with the compound as cover. Looking for a little bit of third-party action as they have 10 eliminations now. RUKH ESPORTS still loading up on the north. So we've seen RUKH ESPORTS in zones like this. Hence why I'm not too surprised to see them still alive at this time. Mafioso just looking for a little bit of a flank angle, and you can just tell many of the teams just trying to look for those flank angles. As Rami though does get spotted there by Mafioso, goes for a return fire. Mafioso forced to fall, and Pusha drawing in close for that distraction. Mafioso getting their eyes off, and Rami makes very good play off of that, you know, off of that distraction. But Wu gets spotted by Revo. Pusha now stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and the vehicle's coming in through. Mafioso down to a state of HP. Roof Pusha finds the knock and goes for the instant confirm now. And the rest of RUKH ESPORTS looking to come up for a little bit of a cover fire. It's a DBS v DBS. 1 HP though on the side of Pusher. Would fall. Eugene, the last player left now, as Default also finds his ends. And Alpha 7 reigning supreme here on the north. Intense game. Also there hugely for the third party. And Eugene, the last player there for RUKH ESPORTS, not finding themselves in the zone as Intense game start to also take out some of the players there from Alpha 7. Scarilio falls. And Intense game seem to have turned the tides right now. 5 eliminations to their name. RUKH ESPORTS falls completely. We're down to the final 3 with 7th elements, down with just the last player there in T24 to hold down the fort. Carillo still knocked as Senab would be that last survivor for the side of Alpha 7. No revives looking possible for the time being. You see a couple of smokes coming in through from Saab though. Scarillo trying to see if they can move in closer. Maybe find themselves a little bit of a revive there, but I do not see the odds of that one though. 7th element though. T24 does get started though. Scarillo would get thirsted on Saab. Here's those shots that are going up around that eastern edge, and that is definitely the fight that they want to take. Definitely knows that there is a full squad left, and you can see that his solo has been getting a couple of knocks there though, so you can just see him playing with that shorelines now. So you make that the ridge lines. So now I just want to play with that compound, maybe go for a little bit of that placement point. 13 eliminations up already. Maybe get themselves a little bit of more loot too, Oh, did you see that heal up coming in through? In 7th element though, T24 getting heavily battered by bullets from the side of Intense Game. You can tell that they're not happy about their player who has been lost. But really pushing this player individually is not the way to go by it. It's trying to thread those grenades through. And of course, 7th element trying to grenade, but Diego, he doesn't miss those grenades now. 7 eliminations to the side of Intense Game. They're not having it, and they have a sheer idea as to where Saab is. As they await Saab's exit from that compound, you can just see Diego lying behind that airdrop, waiting for the push out coming through from Saab, as the smokes now completely gives away the position there by Saab. As they await Saab's exit from that compound, you can just see Diego lying behind that airdrop, waiting for the push out coming through from Saab, as the smokes now completely gives away the position there by Saab. And Diego is just waiting. Awaiting the move there by Saab, as Saab continues to throw out those grenades up in a 1v3 situation in where he's got a heavy disadvantage right now. Diego just waiting. Saab now hearing those grenades definitely knows that there is a team that is gatekeeping him, awaiting his entry into that zone. And this is where we start to wonder, is he going to deny that point? He doesn't have that zone. Would he be able to get into that zone? That is the question we've got in mind. Saab holding down the forts, looking to just stay alive for the side of Alpha 7. The blue zone now starts to close. Saab doesn't have too much to do. Intense Game, they know it's a 3v1. They know where that last player is. They do not even want to send it because they know that player is not in the zone. So they would have to move. They're not too worried about anything. Saab just trying to throw the smoke. Got a little bit of distraction there as grenades coming in through. And I like the play coming through from Saab trying to force the enemies to push him. Making sure he's not doing too much, giving out too much information now. And the players there from Intense Game not quite able to put their fingers as to the position there of Saab. I think Saab has been trying to get to the top of the roof though. You just see them pushing up. They've got 2 players now. Diego pushing up one there. Now they hear the footstep. The free fire is coming in through. It's just wonderful as Diego has been on absolute fire the entirety of this game. Intense Game would get themselves 8 eliminations and a chicken dinner. That is what? 18 points to gather up on board, but you cannot count out the efforts coming in through from Alpha 7, as they would even be able to get themselves more. 13 points, and a second place finish. You can already tell that that is a recipe for success there from Alpha 7, as they'll be getting themselves, even more points up on board. I believe that sets them up at 19. And talk about the play from Alpha 7 though, they were completely wonderful. And this is something I enjoyed from Alpha 7. I pointed it out at the beginning of the game, right? This is something that Alpha 7 just did. They landed in their secondary drop, but they still found a way to rotate like it was their primary drop. Hence why they had such a good time in this game. That is something that, worked out well for them. But nonetheless, Intense Game getting themselves that chicken dinner. Nothing that we can take out of them. I really enjoyed how they played those late phases of the circle, capitalizing on the fights, knowing when to keep quiet and when not to make too much noise. That is the thing that I enjoyed the most coming through from this team. We saw them at a point just laying low, not really doing too much damage, and that is something that really works out well when you're able to slow down the game and pace the game as you want it to be. Intense Game playing that one so well. They did lose players, but still hold up as a 3-man squad till the very end, so that works. And maybe not the most of eliminations, but 8 eliminations only only becomes a small number when another team in the lobby drops 13 elims. So really, I cannot blame Intense Game. It was a good game coming through from them, and that is something that we enjoyed to see. And really, Diego was on something else able to thread those grenades, find those knocks, you know, even where you wouldn't expect them to. That is just the thing that we expect to see from from no other team but teams that are, going into those global phases. Just love to see that one. Congratulations on the GG to Intense game. And I really like to see how well that pushes them up on the top of the leaderboard, man. Because really, that is such a good game that they've been able to play. So, we'll see how well they're able to capitalize on that one. Going into today's games, they had 47 points on board. And now with 18 points being added to that tally, puts them in that race there for first position. But still, 7th element though. Surviving with T24, they were able to quite stay alive up to what? 3rd position there. And that is such a good play coming through from 7th element. And I said, these are the teams that are on the top of the leaderboard, which means they're the ones on the defense, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they can actually pull up this defense going into the end of the day. Because really, they've played so well going from the first 2 days. Now going into the 3rd day, all they have to do is defend themselves from the other teams. And we do not see Falcons in that first game. Hopefully we see Falcons come to try and challenge the side of 7th element going into the next games. But right now, it does look like Intense Gaming would be the next competitors. The side of Genesis Esports also did seem to get themselves quite a number of play coming in through, and I would like to see where that leads them to. But here's the head that we're talking about. This is what I was saying. 8 kills is a whole lot of elims, but really when there's a team that is doing 13 eliminations in that same game, 8 kills almost becomes a small one. As we see 13 eliminations coming in from Alpha 7, 2600 damage that they're able to accrue as compared to 1200. And you can just tell, you look at this and you can't even tell who won the game. You would actually think Alpha 7 won. I mean, even Alpha 7 able to do assists for other teams. That is something that you don't see one to often. 15 assists that they're able to get, which means some of their eliminations actually did get stolen. And we see them actually do the work. Survival time is a little bit misleading because it just starts to count from when you get off of the plane, but still Alpha 7 able to hold on their fort, or actually when you land. 1 grenade elimination, 4 headshots coming in through, 13 knockouts, and 15 assists. I do not know how they've managed those numbers, but still Intense Game put up a good game. I tell you, normally this game from Intense Game would actually be considered a good game, but seeing that Alpha 7 even had a better game, it almost like defeats the points there. But anyway, let's get into the next graphic, see what else we've got going on here. As Alpha 7, they've shown us that they're the bosses. Really, we saw hints of that play coming in through from them. They're able to get 19 points right now. They were sitting on 29 before the day, so them getting 19 points kind of boosts them up towards that 5th position each on the leaderboard. So I really look forward to seeing how well they can do it. And here comes the damage numbers. And I've been speaking about all the teams, but I've not spoken about RUKH Esports, who absolutely were terrorizing in the lobby too. We did see RUKH Esports play well, but when they decided to go for that 2-2 split and try to push up to the side of Alpha 7, that is where we started to see them falter. That 3rd party came through from Intense Game, which was wonderful, and that really took out the side of RUKH Esports. They were able to get 1800 damage. That just goes to show how much damage they did. And even Intense Gaming winning the game did not even have the most damage, and you can just tell that there's a couple of other teams that did work. 7th element, 6 eliminations, they did do their best to take out the side of A1 NP, and indeed they did. With T24 actually doing a whole lot of work in that game. Out of 6 eliminations, I believe that player got 5. You can just tell that player definitely understood the assignment, and really, so far they're doing it. I'm not going to complain. They're holding on to their defense, whether it's one player that is getting all the eliminations or it's not one player that is getting all the eliminations. I really do not mind. They're able to pull it off and they're able to stay on top of the leaderboard. That is all that matters, at least for the time being. But RUKH Esports, I've got to give them their flowers. They actually did play well in this game. 7 eliminations that they were able to get. I believe they're topping that off with a 4th place finish also. So maybe not the best of points, but still they're getting enough points up on board to punch them up towards the top of those boards. REINCE also doing themselves quite a number of damage, and really most of the teams that are actually out here doing or that did well in this game happen to be teams that are relatively on the top of the board, right? So it starts to get very, very interesting when we start to talk about how that pendulum effect is going to happen, because this team is currently jumping up, this team is on top, but this team that is below had a good game, but the team above them also had a good game. It starts to starts to become quite stressful to think about. You know, and here comes the overall, the match rankings. So Alpha 7 now with 19 elimination, 19 points every to be gathered. That's something I pointed out earlier. Intense game, even though they finished first, they get themselves 18 points, falling short by 1 point just behind Alpha 7, but nothing that they're worried about. RUKH Esports with 11, Seventh Elements with 11 also, you know, REINCE with 6. To be honest, Seventh Elements getting 11 points is actually wild, you know, because that actually pushes them up the top of the leaderboard, really. CFMG in 6th, A1NP finishing in 7th position. Sadly for them, they had to go out on that whole skirmish that was happening on that southeastern edge. The Regi side out there with three points in total. NB Esports in 3 points. 10th place will be Genesis with 2 points. NIPAC going out early in that early engagement there. With the side there of, I believe, who was it? Was it REINCE? Yeah, I think it was REINCE Esports taking them out early. The girl won healing, but that was courtesy of FSS. You know, SPG on that, I don't want to call it a horrible rotation, but that was a very bad rotation that they went for. And that for 7, use that to, you know, get started with their, you know, dominance in the lobby. You know, Brute Force also going out early in that very coordinated push coming through from RUKH Esports earlier in the game, and Naser going out to the side of Genesis Esports too. I believe they lost some players to Genesis Esports, and I believe they lost some players to the 7th Element there up on that spread that they decided, or actually up on that position they tried to hold there in the center of the quarry. But nonetheless, that was a very, very tricky game. And I was looking at most of the players that did the most, and really, you know, you cannot count out T24 for the amount of damage that player was able to do, and you also cannot count out Diego, who was also able to, you know, do a lot for his team there. But anyway, that is the overall, that is the match rankings. Not sure if we're going to be having the overall rankings, but well, I'm being told actually we're not going to have that one, so nothing too stressful. We're not going to bother too much about it. But that was the first game done and dusted. We're going to have 4 more games for the before the end of the day, so do not go anywhere. Stay tuned, stay connected. I'll be back with more 8-hour Stars Cup action. We'll be moving up to the map of Miramar. Do not go anywhere. I'll see you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back. To be honest, I didn't know the game had started, but hey, the game has started. Welcome to the map here of Miramar. We do see Alpha 7 already starting to lose players, which is definitely not good news if you're looking at it, given that they had such a good game the last one. We didn't see this hot drop come through yesterday out there in the map there of QUESO, and hopefully I can get to see the map a little more in this game, as you know, I'm not able to exclusively see that map. But yeah, I do not know where that playing path is, but seeing that there's a lot of teams out here in QUESO, I'm thinking it's something that was a little bit towards that eastern side of the map, as we start to see, you know, all the teams here in QUESO really. And it's very, very interesting to see NB ESPORTS out here. Brute Force is also here, and the side of Alpha 7 are also here. So that is quite a number of teams that are here. And that zone, also being towards that western side, is not too fun. Actually, the playing path would have been on the west, not the east, sorry. So the western side zone is what we probably saw in this game. But, you know, every team is just trying to look for a place to call home, really. Not too stressful right now. We await all the skirmishes. SBG also finding themselves in a little bit of a fight there. 2 eliminations that they've already been able to get for the time being. So them man are just holding it up, just chilling if you may. You know, not stressing too much. At least not yet. You just see them relaxing, trying to get a lay of the land. And that is something that I would always, you know, admire about these teams, especially when they're in hot drops. The amount of information that they're able to try to gather. SPG, though, we've not really seen them have the best of games, not gonna lie. Waiting for them to really show us what we wanted to see. But anyway, Snowix just holding up. One of the players that I find very, very promising on that squad there from SPG. Nearly has the idea there of the player there, RUKH. He knows there's one player up there. You can already start to see the smokes coming in through. The push is something that they're anticipating. I believe this is in San Martin. You know, anticipate that push. RUKH also trying to see if they can watch that rotation coming in through. Snow is definitely aware of that player, though. Ooh, launches a very long molotov, though. RUKH is going to try to do a little bit of damage. That molotov, oh no! You absolute beast, bro! What? There's no way, bro. There is no way he's got that nade. Wow, whoa, Molly, bruv. I was just talking about this guy. He's something else, really. You see, I need people to actually realize that I don't actually hype people that are not good, man. What? That was such a brilliant Molotov. Like, really, it's very brilliant. And wow. I'm like, there is no way he gets that off. And he did get it off. Balancing it with the shots also to follow suit. That was a very well-deserved knock. I don't think anyone could get any knock that is as deserved as that one that we've just witnessed. Because that was a well-deserved knock. Wow. Damn. I really cannot get over it. I actually can't get over it, man. It was such a good one. Slowix, you've got to teach me the trick, you know? Just show me how you do it. Show me how you throw it. Maybe not throw games, but you know, you get it. Top G is the last player left for the side of Genesis Esports, so we keep an eye out. We do see NASR Esports in their own engagement too. As we see them drawing in closer and closer. 3 eliminations that they're able to gather. They did loot spec in the meanwhile. But it does look like Regis, anything, R3G, already down to just the one player there. NASR Esports just looking for those vehicles, maybe to start that rotation, you know. They can't really be stressing too much. Yeah, NASR Esports, they're currently where on the map? I don't see them. But I know they're somewhere in here. So one thing is sure, they're actually in the map here of Miramar. Well, anyway, we see them getting into vehicles and trying to get into that next circle. So you just see Star is just holding up now. I like this play coming through from NASR Esports, sending out 2 players to look for vehicles. You know you cannot waste too much time out here. J7 is the last player, so they might be able to pull it off though with all 3 players in one vehicle. It doesn't look like they're very curious or very thirsty or hungry for that last player. So nothing too stressful for the time being. I see now there's still one more team left. Alpha 7 able to find a way outside to the outskirts of El Pozo as we start to see rotations coming in through from the side of 7th element. A1 Esports also looking to come in from that southeastern edge as brute force. Still out here in El Pozo though, looking to find a couple of shots. Ado and Mind. I'm not too sure if they are aware of this position being held by Akaz. Side of NB Esports have lost just one. But Akaz is just holding down the forts, keeping the trigger discipline, and I think Might has spotted him there. The pre-fire is already coming in through. Akaz tries to run, but Akaz falls. And brute force could just tell that they had an idea. They still have company out here. Just have to admire that the eyesight coming in through from Mind there, able to spot out that player. And maybe Akaz should have shot a little earlier, just maybe. I'm not saying he should have, I'm just saying just maybe. Who knows, maybe that would have been the play there. But I don't know, man. It was such a nice push, you know, nice spots coming in through. Alpha 7 though, falling back to the top of the mountains. And they've already decided to lay down the damage though onto the side of brute force. Ado is going to be the first one to fall as they try to go for that full send onto the side there of NB Esports. Those look like Alpha 7 are the ones that are, you know, doing the damage. And brute force with a grenade, able to find themselves one knock. And then, you know, Neo's still trying to get their HP back up. Revo on the top of the hill there. And Ado most likely would get revived there, as it does look like the unicorn is tending to the seek right now. And that revive does look to be something that is coming up. If they get that revive, brute force, that would be a very impressive revive. And it doesn't look like that's what they've gotten. Actually, they will get the revive. They should be getting the revive right now. Ado should be getting revived. And I can tell you, Ado is probably getting revived right now. Yep, and there we go. That revive does come through. I do not know how they've pulled it off, but they have pulled it off. There's still one more player there from NB Esports here, though. It's going to be Mondo. He's trying to hold down the fort. Mind is definitely aware, and you can just tell that man has his mind in the game, really, as they're able to understand whatever is going on. And what a play. What a play. They know they can hear the footsteps right now, brute force. And try not to, you know, overextend or send too many players towards that position. That's a good nade up onto Mondo. And Mind knows is about to force that heal through, coming through from the player. Looking to bait out with those footsteps. And now Mind looking to challenge for the 1v1. Grenades now currently being thrown. I'll make that the smoke grenades coming in. More grenades currently getting thrown by the side of brute force, and that is a very good nade coming in. Does the damage though, but not finding the knock just yet. And another grenade now currently being prepped by the side of NB Esports, and that nade coming in through. Now they've heard where that grenade is coming in through from. Mind definitely knows there's a player there, goes in for that push, finds the shot, and that is going to be NB Esports going out early. Alpha 7 though, are they going to come in for the third party? Not looking like it, as they have more to deal with. 7th element just out there in their vicinity, starting to do the damage. I mean, it was inevitable. We did see 7 Esports rotate just right in front of them early on. So yeah, it's understandable why 7 Esports, 7th element would be the one doing the damage. We're starting to see rotations coming in through. RUKH Sports looking for a way in. Carrillo is going to be the first one to fall. As Alpha 7 not quite happy about that one. You can already start to see them throw out those bullets towards the side of 7th element, hoping to find a knock, but that revive onto the Revo is not something that will be happening. Snap looking for the odds though, looking for the chances, trying to see if he can drive to the bottom of that hill. If he's able to make it to the feet of the hill, that would be a very nice play. And indeed he will. The revive does look to be coming in through, but 7th element have an off angle. The Nab is in trouble. Does get uprooted too, and that is such a nice play from Aliyan, not making sure they don't shoot until the side of Alpha 7 decide to get that revive started, knowing fully well that it's not going to be an easy choice or easy task to cancel that revive. And that was such a nice play. I was about to just commend Alpha 7 for pulling that one off, but I did not see that off angle currently being held by Aliyan. You're just gonna give that man his flowers, really. Such a nice play, but the blue zone now starts to fall through and the rotation needs to continue. And I like the fact that 7th element have decided to keep their rotations up towards that western side, knowing fully well that those hills on the west are not something that teams could climb. So, you know, they're not going to be too worried about you know, other teams, but brute force though, giving them a reason to worry though, as Divine does get spotted. Divine does get spotted and taken out instantly. GokuBot is also down. And this looks like the revive is what might be coming through from the side of 7th element. GokuBot would be looking to get revive, but only 57 seconds on the clock before that zone completely closes up. Head now. Looking to get started with the side of REINCE though, once again. Sadness Raw would fight FSS. In the previous game, FSS was the one that took out, you know, sadness. Now it's reversed the case. 7th element, spots that rotation coming through from Mafioso. The shots are coming in through. Mafioso down to a slither. Alian is somewhere in the off angle. Spots that Mafioso on that move. And it's only a matter of time before Alian spots that player. All that blue zone claims the life. And yep, it's going to be Alian to find the last player there from Alpha 7. And Alpha 7 would eventually go out quite early. And now we're starting to see SPG though. It gets started with AI, NB, or A1. I keep calling them AI. There we go. It's currently situated close to the center of that circle. That zone does move up towards the north. Brute Force in a very strong position on the top side there of Monte Nuevo. Intense Game also securing themselves quite the spot. SPG completely sending out the players there from A1 and B. So that's a GG well played. There's quite a number of teams that are out there in that blue zone. We see INCO Gaming though, somewhere in the lobby, looking to find their way into that zone. They're down there on the south. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how they can pull off. An Intense Game. We saw them win that first game, and right now they're looking to be seated up in a very good position, man. And the shots coming in through up to Snowix on the top of the hill. SPG looking to unlock something that we've not seen before. I'd really like to see how well they pull that one off. They're just chilling on top of that hill, trying to see if they can gather information. Maybe find a little bit of a good place to play, and it is indeed a good place to play in. You know, sitting on the top of the mountain. And Brute Force now. We did say that they were in very prime third party and gatekeep position, and that is exactly what they're doing. So making it a little bit of a trouble for 7th elements to get into that zone. So 7th elements now, they're just going to have to find other ways to get into the zone, at least for the time being. Maybe try to survive for as long as possible. As we know, they're the ones on the top of the board. So right now, they're the ones that need to be on that defense. Right now, that defense is what we're seeing coming through from them. GokuBot would indeed get thirsted. Not fun times for that player. Intense Game. So anyway, we're anticipating more action coming through from all across the map. You know, Brute Force still holding up on that north western edge. Just seeing them chill. RUKH ESPORTS also found themselves somewhere on that northern side. I can already see most of these teams looking to form up close to each other. Hyper looking for rotation into the zone from that southeast. A little bit of Monte Nuevo is still in that zone, but man, if Genesis Esports had many players up, that would have been such a good place to play. But anyway, here comes REINCE to get the fight started. Got one knock onto the side there of Naser, or sorry, make that SPG, but they would lose players of their own. I think maybe it was a little too early now to find that knock. But SPG though, I do not understand why they left the top of the hill, as they do not have that high ground advantage, at least not anymore. And REINCE would be able to at least get themselves the revive. Right now, SPG now on the bottom of the hill, they find themselves in a very tricky situation. You know, going from being in a very strong position, almost one of the strongest positions in the zone, to now holding up a compound that is on the bottom of the hill. It's not fun times for the side of SPG, because, you know, they cannot get out of that compound, which means, you know, for the next zone or two, they're most likely not going to be able to gather themselves any elimination. So that's just very painful. RUKH ESPORTS also in the background though, up towards that northeastern edge, looking to get into that zone. REINCE though, trying to gather as much information as possible. They do not really have that zone. So they're gonna have to, you know, edge it in, even though that might not be the preferred style of play that they would want to do. SPG already on 6 eliminations now, and this is what I was saying about this compound, right? There's only one place you can watch. You really can't look at what is going on behind you because, you know, those guys have got all the angles there. RUKH ESPORTS though, looking to get started. REINCE in the building as Sadness does come through, crashing in the green Lambo. Doesn't quite find the knock though as default. Able to find himself a little bit of an off angle, but here comes the shots coming in through. Sadness goes for the quick 180 turn, finds the knock, but the return is there. As RUKH ESPORTS are able to trade out the knocks here. Rami looking to push up the hill with Rick. Holding up just right above him, and the information is there now. Rami feeling very confident, and this is what we love to see from that one. High ground advantage is there, the shots come through, and Rami finds the knock. On the off angle is going to be Aizen. Last player left for the side there of REINCE to hold on the forward, but Pusher spots him, and here comes the shot. S12K in the hands though. Looking to go for that push. RUKH Pusher just awaiting that push coming in through. And Aizen's prepping up a grenade, but that third party is not going to let him breathe. As RUKH ESPORTS get that complete wipe on that northern front end. And the revive will come through. SPG already up to 7 eliminations. They still have one player wandering off in the background, with NSC Sport holding up. We lose NI Power in the other on the background with Intense Game, having 3 eliminations to their name. Watching on the side there of CFMG, who are able to find themselves one beautiful knock. And hopefully, well, they cannot act up on that knock though, because that knock is not really in that zone. Speaking of zone, we're about to get yet another zone shift though, as we await that next zone shift. Which team is it going to favor? And it does move towards that western end. Brute Force find themselves in a very good position, but they need to condense that split. Maybe condense it towards that southern edge, because that's where they have most of the cover as compared to the north, where it's just open fields. But still, they might be able to make it work from that northern side. They have a little bit of a high ground. Maybe they can play from there. Down to 8 teams now, 24 players. An intense game. Out here on the south once again. And this is one thing I enjoy about Intense Game. They're able to get themselves into a very good position, pick up a little bit of scrappy loot, and then heading towards once they get into the late game, they're able to pick up the pace and do so much work. You know, so that's something that is quite interesting to see from the side of Intense Game. 7th element though, still alive with just the one player. Naser, not able to quite sniff out that player ever since the scratch. So T24, once again the lone survivor for 7th element. Naser, J7. Moving a little bit too carelessly. He does find out the hard way now. There is a player here from 7th element as we start to see grenade pins being pulled. The pre-fire is coming in through, but J7 cannot quite find the knock. DBS in the hands now of T24. It's definitely not fun times. As Naser trying to see if they can buy themselves a little bit of time. J7 looking for the knock. Putting the nade pin to force the push out. It's not going to come through yet. 7th element realizes just a little bit of a bait, but hey, Naser, J7 realizes that that pin had been pulled and then pushed into that building. That was such a nice play. You love to see that one. Brute Force now, they head the shots though. What do they want to do about that one? We do see Unicorn looking to form up quite closely. As Brute Force just out in the open, Mind just looking to watch that one. And hoping to play a little bit of spoiler for the side of Naser. J7, a little bit exposed. And Mind is just holding down the fort, prone just outside the fence. These are really mind games that are being played. Now he's moved. The players there from Naser must have heard him. And Mind trying to fall back a little bit. Star, he hears that there's someone just prone outside. And Mind is just holding up the cover fire. Hopefully it's going to be enough. 7 eliminations to their name. J7 pulling away from the fight. 7th element, we did see them get eliminated, so we're down to 7. And now Mind starts to move. Currently still on that southern edge. And this is him pushing it really. Because this is overextending, running out in the open. And it's going to be Stars to claim that elimination. It's one of the very few eliminations that you do not get one too often. And here comes the rest of RUKH ESPORTS now. Actually, Brute Force fighting on the top there with RUKH ESPORTS as default. Getting spotted there in the background. Eugene is quite close. DBS in the hands, but Ado has to fall back a little bit. HP bars currently being drenched. And the rest of Brute Force really need to form up on Ado here, because RUKH ESPORTS is such a formidable force. Intense Game also getting started with CFMG though. out there on that southeastern edge. CFMG will lose one. Celo looking to push up closer. SPG still alive with a full squad, impressively. But they're the ones that are playing cover fire for RUKH Esports here, as they're doing quite the work. Preventing the peaks coming in through from Ado. Defaults looking to move up a little bit, but SPG, it's only a matter of time. I would have expected them to spot the players there from RUKH Esports. But it does look like the terrain being very, very uneven. It's making things a little bit hard, at least for the teams. And Ado, though, holding up, looking for the knocks. We're down to seven squads. Brute Force should have been alive with a full squad here, but I really do not know what Mind was doing. RUKH Esports, though, holding on down the defense, down to the ridge lines as SPG come down the hill, going for that push. And it's going to be RUKH Esports receiving the visitors. Snowix falls. And the same thing can be said about Hinaus. RUKH Esports looking to take shots though from behind also, as Robs, the last player left for SPG, looking for a little bit of a knock, throwing in the grenades, letting everything fly. RUKH Esports, the absolute menace of the lobby, currently being torn apart by SPG, who are holding up 8 eliminations, and Brute Force not helping matters at all from behind. RUKH Esports able to get themselves at least 1 elimination, but here comes Robs looking for more, finds the thirst, holding down to the forts. Maybe he might be able to grab the revives though, and I think he might have to grab the revive onto one of the other teammates though, as compared to Terminus, whose HP bar does still seem a little bit high. Brute Force now pushing up 7 eliminations, and RUKH Esports though, Eugene trying not to move too much. He knows he's been spotted. RUKH Esports definitely knows. Actually make that Brute Force, they definitely are aware. They know that this team does not have all the full players alive, as SPG pull up a full revive. It's quite interesting. Wow. 8 eliminations to the side of Naser though, and I really hope we can continue watching that SPG fight, as RUKH Esports would be the one to fall. And Brute Force still find themselves on that north, looking to watch SPG. Now it's a 2v4. SPG up as his full squad. They do have 1 player knocked, but 10 eliminations to Brute Force right now. They are doing those numbers. Ado currently isolated, and SPG, no matter how much you chomp them down, they would continue to stand up, grab themselves the revives as the shots come through. And now the bullet counts on the side of Brute Force starting to reduce a bit, as Robs looks for a little bit of an off angle there for SPG. He's been spotted now. Unicorn looking for those shots, and now is the time to use the Mini 14 with the 8x scope on it. There is no way Rob survived that one. Just get tapped away, and down he falls. 11 eliminations now for the side of Brute Force. Or make that 10, as the elimination did get stolen. Guess who's still alive? Is Intense game with 9 eliminations. I do not know how they do it. I do not know how they do it, but they keep pulling up. Genesis Esports get taken out in the meanwhile. But Intense game, they have survived this one. Up on that east, 9 eliminations on the same count with the side there of Snow and the players there from SPG. But the difference is Intense Gaming still retain that full squad. Down to the final 4, top 4 situation for them. And Naser with 2, just holding down the fort. And that blue zone does move again, or that play zone does close. And this time I believe it favors the players there from Naser. Brute Force, they've got nothing but burning vehicles to make it into that zone. Ado just holding down the fort, but SPG now getting started with this idea of Intense game, who are doing so much damage. Diego finds 1, 10 eliminations now, trying not to overextend, and that you can understand the play coming in through, but Brute Force also doing quite the damage there. And SPG would wonder how they've let this one slip away from their hands, as they're down to just the 1 elimination, or sorry, 1 player there. And NASR Esports just holding down the forts. They do have a very good position in the zone. J7 though, head's been spotted. Now we do see SPG now, does get taken out in 4th position. They did get themselves quite decent elims. An Intense game now. They see those numbers dwindling. Brute Force up to 12 eliminations, but you have just 2 players left. Can they still pull this one? It's a 4v2v2, with Intense Gaming being the only squad with a full squad. Oh man, Brute Force would lose one player, and that is not fun. As Intense Game now look for a little bit of a wraparound. All 4 players still alive, and Magrelin has not quite spotted the players. And Naser, they know they've got 8 eliminations. They know they do not have to do too much. All they need right now is the placements. And them having only 2 players left doesn't make things easier for them. Cielo just gets spotted, and it's a very beautiful spray coming through from Stars. Brute Force grabbed their revives though. But now they start to spam the grenades towards Magrelin. Ado still letting more grenades fly. Magrelin losing so much HP in a 1v2 situation. And Brute Force knowing fully well not to overextend as Naser starts to drive closer and closer into that zone. Intense Game. They might just be a little bit too split out. Naser are looking for those off angle. Magrelin would eventually get spotted as Ado finds that grenade or back that the knock with the DBS. An Intense Game now reduced to 3. It's a 3v2v2 now. And both teams really working together to take out the players there from Intense Game. Intense Game is just looking for everyone. Unicorn though, here's those shots coming in through, stands up. But make that Ado to stand up to find the shot. Cielo falls also in the meanwhile. Intense Game, it is slipping away from their fingers. Brute Force with 15 eliminations. Adrian stands up to find a trade. And Brute Force now down to 1. Naser, are they reading this elimination field? Do they see it coming in through? As Unicorn finds the last of them. Intense Game lose this one. 10 eliminations to their name, and here comes the shot. Unicorn gets spotted, and Naser, they knew. They played it very, very nice. And they would get the chicken dinner at the end of the day. And what a play coming in through from Naser. You can tell they had this one cooking. They knew they had 8 eliminations, not too much to stress about anymore. Just try to get the rest of the players out, do a couple of damage here and there. And Brute Force focused so much on the side of Intense Game. They were not able to just hold down enough, at least for quite enough. And Intense Gaming or Intense Game would wonder how they've lost this one, how they've let this one slip away from their fingers. Because that was such a game that was going in their favor. They already had 10 eliminations up on board, if not 11. But unfortunately could not just make it work, as they did lose it out to the side of Naser and Brute Force. And not too often do we see this happen. You know, we're down to just one team as a full squad, and there's 2, duels left. We normally wouldn't see those duels team up, go up against that full squad, but that is exactly what happened. An Intense Game got overwhelmed by all the angles, but nonetheless it was a good game for them. The top 3 teams had an absolute cracker of a game, even extending all the way to that top 4, top 5 when we start to look at what the side of SPG were able to do in that game. And that was such a nice play. I cannot wait for the head-to-head right now. As I cannot, it was such a play. I can't even say what teams to get the head-to-head. Is it going to be Intense Game and Brute Force, or is it going to be Brute Force and RUKH Esports, or is it going to be Brute Force and Naser? There's just so much teams, or so many teams that are able to get themselves, quite the number of damage and work done in this lobby. And what a play. What a play coming in through. Brute Force though against Intense Game. Intense Game getting eliminations that are up to 11, but 16 for the side of Brute Force. And here's what I keep saying: 11 eliminations starts to look like a small number when there's a team that is doing even more damage up on board. 16 eliminations, that is such a ballsy play coming through from Brute Force. Even though they were down to just 2 players, they continue to make it work. 7 assists coming in through, 3,280 damage, and these are just very, very insane numbers coming through from the side of Brute Force. Intense Game, I do not want to counter what you did, but man, Brute Force putting up such numbers, that is so wonderful. 17 knockouts coming in through, and they got only 16 eliminations, which is one of their aliens also did get stolen. And Brute Force really, really setting a trend here. And that is such a nice play. What else do we have next there in terms of the graphics? This was such a wonderful play, really. I really cannot get my mind over Brute Force. And to be honest, I would like to see Brute Force continue on such prowess. This is such a nice game for them. And that is just good to see. What a play coming through from Brute Force. I'm actually very, very impressed. seeing that they were able to put this much damage up on board. 16 eliminations, almost making every other person's game seem small. And look at that damage number, 3200, but still intense game, able to put out 2500 damage. SPG, I spoke about them too. They did quite a lot of work in this game. 2700 damage to them. And NASR ESPORTS getting themselves in the eliminations, got themselves 9, and we'll get them to chicken dinner with 19 points. But I promise you, that doesn't make them the team that got the highest points in this game, as every other person was extremely fragging out. RUKH ESPORTS did a lot of damage, but the eliminations does not quite match up. 4 eliminations for 1000 damage. You can just tell they were involved in a whole lot of fights. But unfortunately, RUKH ESPORTS got overshadowed by the SPG and brute force combo there. And look at those points. 34 coming through from intense game. Not quite sure. That is 15 placement points. Shouldn't be up to that. Maybe we'll have to give it another look there for intense game. But still, Alpha. Oh wait, something is off here. Not quite sure if this is the right, points that we've got up on board. But hey, brute force 16 eliminations, second place. That is good numbers coming through from them. 22 points that they were able to get. Side of Alpha 7, they got 6 eliminations if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not that much, but still, that was such a play coming in through from them. As I said, this is not the correct leaderboards, or actually not the correct match rankings, but still, it does give us a little bit of an idea as to how these teams did. NASR ESPORTS probably will be somewhere up there. RUKH ESPORTS also will be somewhere up there. So we saw these teams actually do quite a number of damage and a number of eliminations going into this game. And talk about a play. Talk about a play coming in through from everybody. And that was a very interesting game, really. It was very top heavy, and I'd really like to see at the end of the day how it actually affected the leaderboards, because right now everyone just seems to have gotten themselves quite a good numbers up on board. But that being said, guys, I will be back with more action as we're about to head into the map of Sanhok, so do not go anywhere as we reach that halfway point of the day. Stay tuned to the Stars Cup, and I'll be right back. Gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the 8-hour Stars Cup. It's your boy Crowns. We're about to get into the third game of the day, and I promise you it's been a very roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster of days, really. I've seen a couple of teams looking to challenge for that top spot, and yeah, we're back to Sanhok, and I'm looking forward to seeing a Sanhok that pretty much goes by quickly, like we saw yesterday. To be honest, that Sanhok yesterday, as much as many wouldn't like it, I think I like a Sanhok game that goes that way, you know? Sanhok where you just get started, everyone is fighting quickly, the game was done quickly. It was nice, you know, to just see everyone just go all out, no hiding, no waiting. So anyway, let's go into the fights. Let's see what's going on. I see a couple of teams in Paradise Resorts. Boot camp is empty. A couple of teams in Camp Alpha. You know, we did see Gladiators go out in Camp Alpha yesterday to the side of INTENCE, or actually 7th Element. Right now, does look like 7th Element are dealing the damage onto the side of INTENCE game. But anyway, we're hoping we get to see the fights that are going on, as that elimination feud just seemed to be doing a whole lot of talking there. Paradise Resort still happens to be one hot drop. Camp Charlie is also another. 7th Element once again being the top and the kings of the mountains there. And that's nothing that we're too worried about, as we're now down to Paradise. CSPG already get themselves 3 eliminations there up on board. You can see Yainhouse. HP has been chunked down a lot. They're looking to get this push started there. And grenades though coming in through from Robs is a good one. Does get a lot of damage done, and now 7th generation, Genesis Esports trying to make a run for it, but the chase is on really. We start to see now going for that chase, looking for that player, and here comes the jump shots, and down they go. Zainal was able to find themselves another knock, or make that SPG another knock, and they confirm. So that's 5 eliminations. And down there in Camp Charlie, we have another fight that is going on. As we do see the side of REINCE and N-Hyper go at it once again. This time, REINCE would win the fight as N-Hyper does get taken out. And I think that's about it for all the odd drops that we've got in the game. Sadly, we missed most of them, but yeah, got the hot drop situation, and we're going to be fine with it. It's going to be everybody going out. Naser also going out quite early. The Ruins happens to be free right now. Well, and it's going to be 4 teams going out early on in the game, as we're down to 11 squads left in the game. I actually want to know how many teams were at. Wow, that's interesting. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we did lose 4 teams early on in the game. So I really hope the Sanhok game does not become slow. I hope it becomes one that happened like yesterday, where everyone was just sending it straight up to the center. We just see Alpha 7 still down there on that south eastern edge. It's quite interesting to see Alpha 7 landing out there in Kampong though. You know, it's not something that we would normally see too often, especially on the map here of Sanhok. So yeah, that is improvements, and I guess that is just their mitigation strategy for fighting. You know, I believe they have a couple of hot drops that will be happening out there in the PMGC when the PMGC does get started. So, you know, getting used to another drop location here on the map here of Sanhok is something that, you know, would work well for the side of Alpha 7. So I enjoy that proactivity that they've embarked on and the plays that they're able to go for. CFMG doing the same thing we saw them do yesterday though, wrapping around in that Paradise Resorts area of the map. You know, we saw them do it yesterday, and it did fetch them a lot of elims really. So them doing it again today, we'll see if it's gonna work out well for them. We've got Brute Force also somewhere around the Tatmok area, looking to drawing closer with Genesis Esports having only 2 players left to hold down the forts in top G, and I do not know who the last player is. Right now they're holding up as a 2-man squad. Oh, actually it is West Carry. They've got Brute Forces player just quite close to them. Right now we're just waiting push coming in through. As top G does find that Brute Force player that is close to them. That's going to be a GG. 2 eliminations to the side there. Brute Force, you can tell that they're not happy about that one. Got themselves 15 eliminations in that first game, so you can tell they'll be pushing up onto this next one. Trying to see Genesis Esports now. Looking to stay alone in this compound, and as I said, Brute Force not too happy about that one. You can tell that they're pushing up towards this building, but CFMG also heard a little bit of that noise, so now they're looking for the action. But Brute Force now being the teammates that Genesis Esports did not ask for. As we see West Sky with a grenade though, DBS in the hands there of Mad Cat looking for a knock, does not quite find any. The jump shots through the windows as he's looking for that peak. It's a very nice one, but Brute Force exerts their complete revenge as they get the knocks. Okay, at least one elimination. And Rookie Sports looking to also coming through for the third party as they've heard the noise. SPG also heard the noise. CFMG currently holding up the compound. As it is all eyes, all legs, everyone, all attention is out here in the Paradise Resorts. Or at least the outskirts of the Paradise Resorts towards Statmark. And Brute Force still looking to play gatekeeper onto the side there of CFMG. We do look at Alpha 7 though, getting approached by the side there of A1 Esports just on the north there of Boot Camp. Okay, this is Sinister finding one knock onto the side there of Alpha 7. It's going to be, you know, Fioso to fall first. The knock is there, but I do not know about the confirm. Alpha 7 a little bit split up on the top of that hill though. Now SPG lose one player though to Rookie Sport as they also come in crashing. And this is where things start to not be fun. As I said, Brute Force, they're in their own engagement there, currently on that northern side. So we do see CFMG in the middle, not quite taking any of the damage, just seems to be Rookie Sports doing all the work. SPG down to 2, they have 5 eliminations already. But going down to 2 this early on in the game is not fun times, as that zone pushes up once again towards that northern side. Looks like a lot of cow would be available in the zone. We've got about 20% water. R3G looking for a way into that zone from that northwestern side. And there's a whole lot of clusters going on in that center of the circle, especially with CFMG just being, you know, rounded up by 2 teams. You know, Rookie Sports are just out there in the background, trying not to make too much noise. They already have just 1 elim, and you can tell that they're trying not to rush things so far, looking to build up that momentum as they go into the game. We saw them have a very great game on the map there of Miramar, and we do know them to be one of those teams that are quite strong on Miramar. So we start to see Pusher drawing closer, and I like this approach coming through by Rookie Sports, just trying to circle and round up the guys there from CFMG, make sure that compound is completely covered. And we can already see the first knock has been found. Molotov to get sent into the building. The footsteps has been heard. Pusher holding up in a 1v1. DBS going up against him, but does get shot at from behind. The rest of Rookie Sports nowhere to be found, as Pusher tries to fall back a little bit, but they're getting third partied. Eugene falls as CFMG look for the shots, but it's Brute Force laying down the justice there. Unicorn looking to get tagged up, but Rami not quite able to find the comprehensive knock just there, as Rookie Sports now get reduced to 2. Mind has been spotted, but that's an excellent spray coming in through from Rami, looking for the thirst and will indeed find it. But Rami now needs that HP bar back up, but the trade is initiated by Unicorn, giving him a taste of his own medicine, as Rami tries to tag all this chaos, but this is too chaotic to be tagged. Rookie Sports down to just the 1 in default. We know that player to be one of the players that have the clutch factor, but CFMG, one way or the other, they've been able to keep all players alive, and they would find the last player there for Rookie Sports, as Rookie Sports go out quite early. Unicorn now, the last player there for Brute Force, getting spotted, cannot go prone right in time, as REINCE find themselves more eliminations up on board. We're down to 7 teams. 7th element is still alive. You can tell that these guys do not want to let go of that number 1 spot. And that is very, very admirable coming through from 7th element. REINCE now up to 5 eliminations. And I do not know what my thought about REINCE is, at least not yet. They happen to be a team that, you know, we've seen them, they can actually get themselves those elims, get themselves also into good positions, but still, they still sometimes a little bit sloppy when it comes to taking fights. You know, right now they're already up by 2 players or down by 2 players, so that's not fun at all. But I was talking about 7th element earlier. It does look like Goku, but finds himself in a little bit of of a tricky situation out there in Hatin area of the map, up there on the north western side. As we start to see them draw very close out to the players there from R3G, who still have themselves 3 players up alive. 4 eliminations to the side of 7th element. You can tell that they're already doing so much work, doing the damage, securing themselves as much points, preventing any team that is on the chase. And right now, you could almost tell that it's not something that they can lose anymore, given that Falcons is not in the lobby. Alpha 7 currently no longer in the game here. So, you know, these are the teams that were hot on the chase. Maybe A1 Esports might be on the chase, but A1 did not have the best of Miramar games. So, you know, that gap does continue to increase. And given that 7th element are still alive, now they're in placement points region, which means if they go out, they're still going to get themselves quite decent points. So, you know, increase that lead. Keep increasing the lead is what you just want to do here on the final day. But, Alian with the beautiful strafes. Almost did get away from Avenger there, but it was just a little too tight. Unfortunate for the side of 7th element. They're down to Goku bots. They're not in the zone. It's going to be a very tricky one. CFMG now, still holding on in that compound. 3 eliminations that they're able to get over there. But they've got A1 Esports just out there on the outskirts. Just looking to creep in closely. Not too much trouble. They're just vibing. Gathering information for the time being. Still have 7 teams, 19 players alive as Avenger and the rest of the Regi side looking to find a way into that zone. They've got a bridge to use. I'm pretty sure they have idea and information on that bridge as Monkey does find the last one of 7th element, who do go out in 7th position. But as I said, they got themselves, I believe, 2 eliminations up on board. So that works fine, you know. Still quite decent eliminations that they're able to accrue. But anyway, SPG now getting started with A1NP, which is not something that I saw coming, but SPG looking to hold down their forts very well. As A1 Esports down to just the 2 players, or actually make that 3. They lost Hitman on that rotating to Tatmok. As we see push coming in through, Sketch drawing in closer as K9 able to find the knock onto one of the players there from SPG. Is going to be Robs to fall. REINCE looking for a little bit of third party action as Sketch forced to heal. The Regi side also looking for a way into the zone. They're out there on that southern side. Or make that the western side, sorry. And A1 Esports. Just looking for more shots there to be done. 4 eliminations that they already have. Still able to keep all 3 players alive. But they push up onto SPG. A little caught short because of that third party coming through from the Regi side. And they know that there is only 1 player left for the side of SPG. And they would want to push that. 6 eliminations for these players there from SPG. As we start to see REINCE getting taken out one after the other. That zone does push up or close up again, favoring the whole of KO and also the whole of Tatmok. But as we know, Tatmok is not the best of places to play. But anyway, the Regi side though, looking to get started. Sadness, very low on HP. That's a good nade to send out REINCE back into the lobby. The Regi side finally waking up and laying down the numbers on the team. 6 eliminations and 900 damage is what REINCE were able to get before getting out of the lobby. It's going to be a decent game given that they finished 6th position. Still quite decent numbers being put up on board. 5 teams left. SPG still alive. 6 eliminations are they able to accrue with Snow trying to hold down the forts. Is he trying to get to the roof? Can you actually get to the roof? We'll keep an eye out, and if he's able to get to the roof, that would be such an unpredictable play coming through from Snow, because no one's going to expect a player to be on there. But then we'll see. And now the remaining 5 teams all looking to be split apart from each other, so nothing to worry about just yet. I really wish all of them would just push that center circle, find themselves the knocks, but I can understand why that is not the move. You know, the zone has just shifted. You're waiting for the next zone shift. There's 2 major cities still in that zone. You just need to know which one it is that you want to fully commit into. Do you want to fully commit into the Batmok area of the map? Do you want to fully commit into how? And we can already see the side there of of DC. Is that INCO gaming? Yeah, I think that is INCO. We already see them on the outskirts there of Hao, and that is such a nice play for them. They're holding on Hao for the time being, and the position they're holding is one in which, you know, if that zone favors Hao, they can always get a spread in Hao. If it favors Tatmok, they can always leave Hao. So it's an admirable play coming through from the side there of INCO, but it almost gets thrown in the mud now as CFMG begin their push up onto them. Donados go down, and it's a little bit of a trade, and it looks like CFMG will emerge victorious on that one as the players there from INCO Gaming though get taken out. 8 elimination, make that 7 from the side there of the Regi side. And they're holding up. You can just see Noki trying to grab that HP back up. And that zone now is about to move. It really is the moment of truth. But we do know PUBG Mobile Zone, it could still leave both cities in. And that zone shifts. There's a lot of cow in it and the restart mark. So I wouldn't be expecting too much trouble. Just the side of A1 Esports looking to rotate in from Tatmok area, or the Tatmok South, which is the short area of Tatmok that is available for, you know, available in that zone or out of the 2 hot drops. But now it's looking like A1 would have to force their way through. They do have to fight the force of SPG in terms of snow. Seems to be a load in here. I think he was able to get to the top of the roof there, and currently finds himself inside that next zone, so that is not too much to worry about as A1 and B make their way up to the warehouses. Now they're in the zone. But I said everyone does seem to be split apart. But anyway, Regicide looking to get started, firing some shots, getting some knocks. It's going to be CFMG to be receiving those bullets. It's such an interesting spot by Snow. I really didn't know you could get to the top of the roof, you know. And really, if the zone continues on this trend, we might actually see, you know, Snowix finish this fight just be on top of the roof. Yeah. Anyway, while waiting for more action, 4 teams left, 11 players, and everyone does seem to be split apart. No one seeming to have vehicles just yet, and A1 Esports looking to make a way to the top of the roof now. As K9 trying to use that third-party eye, see if you can find a couple of players on there. And these plays, very admirable to be honest. But then Snow trying to conceal himself, and that is a good nade. Snow's damage, or Snow's HP bar has been damaged a bit, but those Molotovs not quite landing. You need to low toss it, at least for it to do relatively close damage. And A1NB now not in the zone, and it becomes very complicated for them because they're not in the zone. Snow is also not in the zone, but Snow has nothing to lose. It's just the 1 player left. Regicide still have all 3 players alive, which would mean they would either have to opt for a different rotation, which might affect them, or end up getting taken out by Snow. It's one of the 2. And it looks like they're going for the 4 mass compared to the latter. Maybe have Vows be a little bit of a cover fire for them as we start to see them make the move now. Anyway, we await the shots coming in through. As Snow still on the top of the house, or the top of the warehouse, not moving too much, realizing that he's got a lot of eyes on him. If I were to be Snow, I'm just waiting this out till the men that are shooting start to shoot at A1 Esports, because it does look like A1 Esports wants to leave. SPG jumps down in terms of minus. But anyway, CFMG now find themselves in the line of sight there of Nikki from Regi side, but Nikki now would fall. A1 Esports Dells, we lose them in the background, and I do not know if that was to snow or if Regi side was actually playing a part in that engagement, but still, CFMG able to find themselves 2-0 onto the side there of Regi side, and here comes their push. And CFMG has been that team that has been on fire in this game, and we see them pushing up now, and that'll be a GG well played. As Genocide squad left. Alrighty, and here comes the final battle. And it's going to be Snow in a 1v4 situation. I do not know if this is something he can pull off, and of course it's not. It's way too open, too much space. CFMG find themselves a winner chicken dinner. I believe that is 9 eliminations to go alongside it. It's definitely not CFMG, but hey, they won the chicken dinner. They got themselves the points they deserved. SPG survived quite a lot, making the second place finish. You love to see that one. Regi, oh my god, ready card. Anyway, Regi side looking to get themselves third position with 7 eliminations. Oh, sorry, 8 or 7 actually. Then we have A1NB with 5 eliminations. Fifth position is going to be INCO with none. Now such a play coming in through. Talk about the play. Really, CFMG, I like the fact that they stayed quiet all game long. And then they started to, do the damage whenever required. So yeah, there we go. CFMG getting themselves that winner chicken duel. It says coffin maker force. At this point I would say chicken maker, because they got themselves that winner chicken dinner. You love to see it. But yeah, that is your winner chicken dinner winners. I need to stop saying that. They finished with 8 eliminations. And well, we're back to me. And that was such a beautiful game, really. That was the third game of the day. The Sanhok was not as fast as I would have expected it to be, but hey, it was one that blessed us with quite the number of action, and I know we missed a little bit of them, but even though we missed some of them, we're still able to make it work. So Sanhok was done and dusted. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 more games to go. I do not know if there will be head-to-head, or all the other statistics, but I do know that there's 2 more games left. We have 1 more Miramar game and we have 1 more Erangel game. So let me know in the chat, who do you guys think is going to take each one of those games home? Do you think we're going to get a back-to-back? Do you think we're going to finally start to see some of the bottom teams do well? Or do you think the top teams are not having it and they will always compete for that for that champion position? When it comes to head-to-head though, the Regi side did do a lot of work. I also know the same thing about SPG, who were able to get up to 10 elims. But 9 elimination, 1800 damage, 5 assists. That's what we've got for the side here of CFMG. And then survival time is quite decent. 0 grenade kills, but still, they're able to get themselves 9 eliminations up on board. The Regi side, I really don't know how they've pulled this off. Started off all the way from that western edge, and they were able to get themselves quite good positioning, but sadly they needed to condense their split a little too early and they wasted too much time. But yeah, that was CFMXG versus the Regi side. Regi side able to get himself 8 knocks out of 7. CFMXG 9 knocks out of 9 eliminations. That is wonderful to see. You could tell that they were getting their own eliminations by themselves. 4 headshots, no grenade kills. Love to see that one. And talk about the play. I believe we've got the damage numbers next. And SPG, of course, getting the most eliminations in the lobby. 1700 damage to go alongside it. We saw SPG participate in a lot of fights. Sadly, they started to lose player in almost every fight that they took. So that did not work out well for them. REINCE was also another team that was able to do quite well. 6 eliminations, 981 damage. You love to see that one. A1NB ESPORTS able to get 5 eliminations and 974 damage. That is such wonderful things to see. But anyway, here we have the I think there's also something wrong with this one too, you know, because this is not the actual map rankings. But hey, one thing I know is that the correct actual map rankings are currently being calculated. But yeah. But yeah, it was such a play, and as I said, this leaderboard or the overall rankings not too correct, or sorry, the actually this is, yeah, it's not too correct. But ladies and gentlemen, the correct one will be uploaded on social media, and we definitely will be seeing it in you know, when the time comes. But that being said, we've seen 3 games done and dusted. We're down to just 2. So that being said, we've got Miramar next, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back with more 8-hour Stars Cup action as we go into the sandy dunes of Miramar. Come back to the 8-hour Stars Cup. We're nearing the end as we are in the penultimate game of the tournament. We're about to get into match 4. Actually, we are in match 4. Hovering over the skies there of Miramar. The it's a very sad playing path down there towards that southern edge of the circle. Up all the way from that western side all the way towards the eastern side of Puerto Paraiso. So you do know that this is one of those very tricky playing paths. There isn't so many places to land, so we'll be seeing a whole lot of hot drops. Something we really do not want to see with in the map here of Miramar. But hey, when the zone gives you lemons, you make maybe not lemonade. But you make lemonades, but that's what I was talking about, the playing path not being fun at all. Not too many places that you can land. We do see Puerto Paraiso, it's a place in Pala, La Bendita, but there's so many places, and that zone now goes all the way towards the north. It's definitely not fun at all for all these teams. I'm pretty sure they know that RUKH Sports would like to cruise the valley, but it's a very tough one. So I think it's just going to be hot drops from here on out, and I really hope it doesn't set us up for a very long Miramar game. But anyway, we're already starting to see teams go out one after the other. One after the other, players already going out. We do see the side of Genesis Esports in their hot drop with the side there of SPG. So INO is just trying to hold on the forts, but there's a VSS, which we've not seen in quite a while, pushing up to his position. It's good for 1 though, but cannot find 2, as they're able to find the knock, and yep, add a little bit of BM there. Terminus is gonna bleed out, and yeah, that is gonna be a GG. SPG down to just the 1 player now. It's kind of hold on the rest of the game. Genesis Esports survived that one. Intense game is somewhere in the background, but it doesn't look like they want a little bit of third party. Scars and Snowwicks would be the last 2 players to hold on the fort for that team. INCO Gaming find themselves in a hot drop in Impala, and out there in El Pozo we have Brute Force also going out as Alpha 7 completely eliminating them this time. 7th Element is also somewhere in that vicinity, but I don't know if they're just driving by or if they want a little bit of that trouble, as we see them already taking up the shots. Out there in Los Leones, we've got A1 and B getting started too in their own engagement, and it's already looking like they're holding down their fort. Another player does go down for NB Esports, who have the remaining players there from their ends out there in Puerto Paraiso. So A1 Esports able to get themselves quite the number of eliminations to get started. So everyone's been in quite a hot drop situation, and it's interesting that there were this many hot drops, and we've only lost 2 teams so far actually. So it's still quite decent numbers, nothing too much to worry about. So we just see A1 and B Esports just moving into that zone little by little, trying to get themselves looted up. So that's good to see. Players there from SPG able to get themselves quite another elimination too. But over there in Impala, that fight has not started yet, as we still see INCO Gaming going up against the players there from REINCE. And Brute Force, who seem to have a very good game in the first Miramar of the day, would not be able to have a good one going into this one. Intense game already looking for good positions as they start to send it up the hills there of of the crater fields. Diego making use of that buggy. So we do know those buggies are quite capable of climbing very high terrains. Now Diego just has to make sure those sprays are pinpoint accurate. NASR in the outskirts there of Monte Nuevo. They have quite a number of players also in Monte Nuevo. So we're starting to see them just look for vehicles for the time being, and that is something I like. I would always advise that if you're currently in a hot drop situation, you might want to leave one player outside, especially in places like Monte Nuevo where the car spawns out too much. You want to have a player outside just, you know, searching for a vehicle, finding you one. So if at all you guys complete that fight, or you need to leave the fight, you know, you already have a vehicle that you can use. You don't necessarily have to, you know, take up that whole fight. But anyway, INCO Gaming out there in Impala, as I pointed out earlier, they're out here with REINCE. Ronaldinho, love the name, to be honest. Dinho. Hopefully he's able to maneuver and dribble his way around. INCO Gaming would lose one more as Pina does look to come through for a revive, and the rest of REINCE looking to push up closer. And Pina is going to get into that vehicle with the attempt to leave, but here comes the shot. It's a little too late. Pina getting shot out from behind will eventually fall. INCO Gaming down to one. It's going to be Ronaldinho. And I love the BMs here, not looking to waste any ammo, and they're just panning away the players there from INCO Gaming, and that'll be a GG well played for INCO for the time being. As I said, Ronaldinho is the last player left for the squad. Doesn't look like there's any escaping for him here, and I think yeah, players there from REINCE may have spotted him. And this is what I was saying about REINCE, right? You know, whenever you see them take the fights, they might take the fights well sometimes, you know. Like this time happens to be one of the times where they're actually taking that fight well. They're able to do it well, and now they've taken that fight. They get themselves 4 eliminations. Oh, sorry, make that 3 eliminations. And now they've left that fight getting into the zone. And that is something that I like. You know, you do not have the zone. You've gotten 3 players knocked. Normally, we would see some of the other teams just wait till they find that last player. But that's not the case here for, you know, REINCE. They've realized that they need to get into the zone. They cannot spend too much time outside. And you can already see them in that vehicle, even though it's not the most ideal of rotational, you know, patterns. But they've gotten into that vehicle and they're looking to get into the zone. And speaking of zone, there's already quite a number of teams that are already in it, NIPA being one of them, INTENCE game also being another. R3G also being one. NASR ESPORTS is also another team in there. 7th Element is also in there. And to be honest, at this point, I can almost call it the tournament there for 7th Element. Alpha 7 doesn't have a cracker of a performance in this Miramar game. But I think 7th Element might have as well just taken this home, because really they've been able to do so much damage, you know. So much work. You know, every single game today they've been putting up numbers on board, preventing everyone who is currently on the chase from, you know, getting relatively close to them. So that's you know, even better stuff that I love to see. So I'd really like to see Genesis Esports does go out early too, as SPG completely exerts their revenge, taking out the remainder of the players there from Genesis Esports. So SPG, maybe they did have the last laugh, you know. Regi also in their own engagement, as we see them going up against the players there from NASR Esports. At least finally they're doing this. Inside there of 7th Element also getting started, and that one player of INTENCE game that was on the top of the hill did get taken out. So the one thing he wasn't supposed to do was what he ended up doing. But NASR holding up on the top of the hill, looking for a little bit of advantage against the players there from Regi side. Sorry, not quite able to find any. Regi side up with 1 elimination, looking to gather information on the players there from NASR as 7th Element continue to wreak havoc on that northern side. NIPA are the ones that are currently in the receiving end of those bullets, as NIPA lose 1. Lose yet another team going back into the lobby, as NASR might be looking to leave this fight, go for better positioning. Alpha 7 also holding a very strong position. 7th Element though, they cannot afford to go out just yet. An intense game really. I feel like they just threw that position. They had that one player up there who probably overextended and did get himself knocked. So not fun times for them. But we've seen how well they can play as a 3-man squad, especially today. So we're not too concerned about, you know, how intense game would actually play this game. See what I did there? RUKH ESPORTS, a team that likes to go for late rotations, already looking to get started on that northeastern edge. They're on the edge of the circle, or sorry, the edge of the blue zone, just looking to ride that zone into the circle. Seventh element still also on that northern outskirts of the zone, of the circle. Looking to gatekeep this idea of N hyper for the time being. N hyper just waiting. They have a full squad, but they're holding a 3-1 split. It's a little too long if you ask me, but they're probably gonna make it work. SPG sending Snowix to the center of the circle. I do not know how I feel about that one, given that many of these teams like to play towards that center circle. I think he would have been better off if he was able to find like a little shack somewhere on the edge, like just one of those very tiny shacks, as compared to sending it straight up into that zone. And there's that next zone. We do see it already closing up. Wait for it to close. Alpha 7 holding a very long split, and it's in a very, very good position. Intense game find themselves in a very maybe not bad position in terms of you know, the position only becomes bad because of the amount of teams that are around them. You know, they have Alpha 7 right in front of them, they have NASR in front of them, or sorry, NASR behind them. So it's a tough place to be. But yeah, Alpha 7 just chilling up there on the north. They did get themselves 4 eliminations to get things started, and you can just tell that there's already momentum in their play. That zone continues to close up. 7th element deciding to go for a northwestern rotation. That will make them end up in the backyard there of Alpha 7. I really hope they know how to make their way around there, because as I said, Alpha 7 is on the chase. If Alpha 7 is able to get a good game this game and the next game, but at the same time prevent 7th element from having a good game, 7th element might as well just lose, or would lose that #1 spot. But hey, I'm only making this assumption based off of my personal mathematics, so do not trust it. Zone closes up, moves towards that north. So Alpha 7 having a feud day right now as they await the rest of these teams. RUKH ESPORTS would be one of those teams that are driving quite close to them. Also on the south, there's more to be expected by the side there of Naser and even R3G, as now everyone does seem to be heading up closer and closer into the circle. REINCE looking to get started with A1, as A1 already up by 3 eliminations, gotten courtesy of the players there in Los Leones. Looking to get started. Naser also losing players there on their fronts, as it does look like a CFMG somewhere close to them. Flash currently prone. Star just looking for that one player, and it is Sanhok who they've lost. Definitely not fun times as we see the shots coming in through. Able to hold on with the 3-man squad here, CFMG. And Naser, maybe they might be able to play quiet again. We've seen them take a chicken dinner today, and it was on the map here of Miramar. So would they be able to do it again? Intense game still alive, but they've lost one more player to a knock. And that was something that we saw coming in through. It looks like RUKH ESPORTS have now pushed up onto their position. Looks like more is also coming through as Alpha 7 start off the fight on the north. 7th element also creeping in from that northern side. And this is where it starts to become troublesome, because those long-range engagements not going to be helping matters at all. NIPAR down by 2. And it looks like Mafioso wants a little bit of thirst coming in through. 7th element driving just right behind them. They might see 2 free knocks and decide to take that one for themselves, and indeed they will. 4 eliminations to their name. 7th element stealing eliminations away from the players there from Alpha 7. That is exactly the thing to do when the team is actually chasing you for your #1 spot. 7th element just holding up. Mafioso finds himself quite close to the players there from 7th element. You can tell that he's playing this one quite slowly. Or actually, yeah, 7th element with NIPAR having GK1701 rotate away from the fight. But Karelia has got such a paramount position on the top of that mountain. It's going to make things very, very hard. At least in terms of rotation. Intense gaming though, looking to get started. RUKH ESPORTS are the ones on the receiving end. They lose one player in terms of pusher. Okay, I thought he was reviving someone there. Alright, shots not quite coming through yet. Everyone's just taking little friendly jabs at one another. A1 Esports though, maybe not so friendly, as they did get one of their players eliminated there on the south, going up against the players there from REINCE. Seventh Element, one way or the other, are making these rotations work. They are aware of the position being held by Alpha 7, and you can see that they're avoiding it at all costs. Intense game though. Might just be getting started with the players there from RUKH Esports up on that northern side. We're hoping to keep an eye out on them. Now it's just more rotations. NIPA driving straight into the arms there of RUKH Esports, and that's going to be NIPA gone back into the lobby. Entirety of that center of the circle towards that you know, western side, not really playable. It's just open fields with a couple of hay bales and haystacks and tiny little, I can't even call them shacks. You see my rhymes that I'm making over there. But RUKH Esports though, bottom of the hill, the feet of the mountain, not in a good position at all, so they have to leave. See them just getting into that buggy. Hopefully they're able to find themselves quite a good spot. They would have to crash onto that position being held by CFMG or A1 Esports. As we see them trying to get a wrap around, but Adrian hears the shots or hears the vehicles. Takes a couple of shots, and RUKH Esports just driving across the map as Default getting spotted and uprooted as Magrelin finds that knock. Pusher trying to drive away. Adrian not giving up on the shots there as he continues to fire. It is such a strong position being held by the side of Intense Game. I can tell why they fought tooth and nail to get that position, and indeed they will. To think that Intense Game could have been here before any of these teams, I mean, they did. And well, it's working out well for them, but RUKH Esports have a very, very bad position though, given that Intense Game has a lot of eyes on them. They can see them do all of this work. And you know, they can start to take those shots down there. And look at how hard it is to aim towards the sky there, because that's almost what it is like. You're trying to aim to the top of the mountain and probably get a knock that you can't even capitalize on. So you can tell that Intense Game, they're having a good time. There was only one team that can actually stand in front of them, and I think it's going to be Alpha 7. Because Alpha 7 equally have a high ground with Carillo holding up there. Maybe not the 8x scope on the Mini 14 yet, but even with the 4x scope, he's able to deal quite a lot of damage. A1 NB Sports down to just the 1. As K9 falls. Now we're seeing more shots come through. RUKH Esports trying to see if they can find a knock up onto the players there from Intense Game. But Intense Game are holding such a good position. I do not see them losing this position anytime soon. We're down to 10 teams. Unless this zone does move away. And I think that's what everyone is hoping for. Everyone is hoping that that zone does go for a southern shift. Because if he goes up to that north or to those towers, that eastern side, it becomes very, very troublesome. Personally, he goes up to the north, favoring the hills. So right now, if you are not Intense Game, you are in trouble. If you're not Intense Game, if you're not Alpha 7, you're in trouble. I don't even know if I can call CFMG safe, because, you know, they're also on the feet of the hill. It's going to be hard to climb. You're going to have to hope that the teams do get distracted by another team, so you can at least make that rotate into that zone. But RUKH Esports now embark on the journey, gets into the vehicles, watching to see if they can find anyone who might be trying to pick down. And RUKH Esports return to the position that they were in originally. If I were to be RUKH Esports, I will try to clear out the edge, go towards that western front. Find myself a little bit of a high ground, you know, that would work better as compared to trying to force it in from that western side or from that eastern side. As A1MB Sports do get eliminated. REINCE getting started. I think this is their game. 7 eliminations that they have in total. 3 players up, they will be able to grab 1 revive, so everything is still chill. But now they might have to push up onto CFMG. I see Mash Pirodo in the chat, don't play. See REINCE now, they've been spotted in that smoke. J7 has a share idea, definitely spots their cover fire too. Nice proactivity coming through from them. not quite taking any shots, making sure the angle still remains unexposed. That's a good one. I'm pretty sure everyone is expecting someone to be on this ridge line though. Hence the smokes. Naser just looking to drive towards that smoke there. Spec looking for a little bit of the shots as the cover fire coming in through from J7. Doesn't quite find any of the knock as Atomic buried deep into that shack. Naser does get spotted, and that is excellent cover fire coming in through from Atomic. And now I would have said from the instance they realized Atomic was there, they should have full sent Atomic instead, taking out Atomic, then try to see how they can take out the players there from, or the remaining players there from REINCE. But it does look like they will be going out for the time being. Intense Gaming would tap away that elimination. 5 to their name as REINCE lose one elimination. And Snowix in a very, very tough situation now. Between a rock and a hard place. Carillo, if he opens down his if he ADSs on that position, that's a GG for Snowix, you know. I said with such a high ground position beside low grounds, it becomes very, very hard. And SBG will get taken out in the meanwhile. We're down to the final 8 teams. RUKH Esports Eugene looking to break up that split, or go into the middle of the split being held by Intense Game. The Regi side still alive in this one, up on that northwestern side. One way or the other, they're making it work. Now Regi side spots Carillo, but Eugene is gonna fall as the shots does find him, and that is sewing up fun. Intense Game though, they do lose one more player, so now they're down to 2. Still on the top of the highest part of the mountain though, or the highest part of the zone really. Maybe sharing it with Carillo, but that zone does move again, favors that eastern side once more. Carillo's heel is still on the zone, but Saab and the rest of Alpha 7, they have to move at least relatively closer to Carillo, or maybe try to go for a little bit of his push towards Intense Game. But Intense Game find themselves on the top of a hill too, so it's going to be quite hard to push. This is going to be a very, very tricky game. And Eugene still down. CFFG now in their own troubles down there on the south as they do get eventually pushed by the side there of REINCE. That's a good nade though coming in through. But D46 looking for more. Doesn't quite find any. And here comes DBS for that full send. Atomic trying to see if he can play with the windows. But CFMG, they win that. 3 eliminations that they're able to accrue. We're down to 7 teams. I did not see how that push started, but I think this was a good defense coming in through from CFMG. They were the ones on the defensive part because they had the compound. And, you know, getting pushed by that team there and being able to survive, that is nice to see as CFM. Anyway, we await 7 teams left, 15 players, and there isn't too much everyone can do given that Alpha 7 is on one of the mountains and Intense Game is also on one of the mountains. It's hard to climb, and you know, you have to look for every other person that is on ground level, and looking for them would open you up for, you know, potential, not just third parties, but picking off coming in through from either of the teams that find themselves on the top of the mountain. And there he says, as we see Vaz getting shot at by Carillo from the top of the hill. Those vehicles looking to be out of commission for the time being. Buggy losing 1 tire, probably more. And right now, if you're not on that hill, you're in trouble. There's no in between. I'm actually looking for, you know, a way where I'm looking forward to seeing if Alpha 7 or, you know, Intense Game don't win this game. You know, one of them have to win the game. They have such great position. You know, only the blue zone can stand against them right now. RUKH Esports also being a little bit of a cockroach here, refusing to go down as they keep grabbing their revives. Or Pusher now does the buggy 3. Oh no! And then falls. He came so close, On the side of Intense Game, we're already spamming the grenades towards that position, and Pusher now realizes he's in a very, very bad spot. If he falls down right now, it's going to be, you know, fall damage. And that zone needs to go to the west for the sake of these teams. But instead it goes south. Alpha 7 has to move, but Intense Game can still retain their position. RUKH ESPORTS, on the other hand, now have a good position now. They do not have to do too much. Just have to wait it out. 2 eliminations, 2 players left. 7th element, on the other hand, needs to get into the zone. And Allian's position currently being known by the players there from CFMG, who hold the compound. Pretty much the only compound in the zone. Yeah, Regi side up on the north. They lost 1 player there in Avenger. I really do not understand why the revive is not coming through. Let's check again. But anyway, RUKH ESPORTS now, as I said, they have a very strong position. They still have to watch their backs from the remainder of Intense Game. But nonetheless, it's still a very good position that they're holding. As we see them on the top of the mountain. 3 eliminations with Pusher and Eugene, the last 2 players left. That is such a combo. We'd like to see how that works. Shots coming in through into the smoke. Nothing to be found just yet as high school squad has graduated. But anyway, shots coming in through. As we do see 7th element do get taken out. Eugene still holding on to the fort as Pusher anticipates that push coming through from Intense Game. But Intense Game, they've got Alpha 7 just right underneath them. Alpha 7 looking for a little bit of a wrap around into that zone. We're down to the final 4 teams. CFM or CFMG holding up. And Eugene and RUKH ESPORTS holding away, just trying to make sure they do not get spotted. CFMG also still has that zone. It's going to be down to the next circle now. Currently looking for the play here. I said there's 4 teams. There's a little bit of a stalemate going on. On top of the hill, they're all spread out. So it's almost like a whole team on the top of that hill. No one can play in the center of the circle. It is just open fields. Everyone needs to have a player on the edge. But hey, we wait for them. Who do you guys think is going to take home the game? Let me know in the chat, really. Because there's 4 teams left. RUKH ESPORTS, CFMG, Intense Game, and Alpha 7. Who do you think takes this game home? You know? Because for me, it's a very hard choice to make. But Alpha 7, though, what almost looked like a game for them to take home, it's now looking like a nightmare for them. They do not have that much of a high ground again. All eyes are currently fixated on them. It's very troublesome for them, especially going towards the later phases of the circle. They already lost 1 man, so not even fun at all. CFMG, though, they need to move. And I do not know what their vehicle situation is, so they've got enough. But where are they going to in the zone? There is literally no space to play. Every player is going to shoot at you. Yellow's back. Yeah. CFMG losing 1 more, and Creator is the next one. But anyway, all the 3 teams on that northeastern edge just cohabiting, waiting for that next zone. Eugene does get tapped away though, instantly tested too. So RUKH ESPORTS down to just the 1. Now for 7 realizing that CFMG gets started with Intense Game. Carillo, Intense Game getting eliminated. I missed that one totally. But now we're down to the final circle. And here's where it starts to get tricky. Alpha 7 find themselves in a 2v1 2v2, sorry, 3v1 situation. Actually, Alpha 7 have turned the tides. I do not know how. And that's a very long nade coming in through from Carillo. Oh my god, Mafioso! Got that grenade in. 8 eliminations and a chicken dinner. Alpha 7. They get it in what seemed to be a very dragged out end to a Miramar game. And what a play. What a play from Alpha 7. I actually thought they had lost it, man. I thought, you know, going down the bottom of the hill wasn't too favorable for them. But they made it work. This is why they are Alpha 7. They make things work. And that is a GG. Well played. I enjoyed that one coming in through from Alpha 7. And that was good. And I was saying it. Alpha 7 needs a cracker of a performance in this game and the last game today in order to still be in that contention for the top. But 7th Element, they continue to put up points up on board. This thing is making it hard for the players there from Alpha 7 to do anything. So we'll be looking towards that last game, and we'll be seeing what Alpha 7 is able to pull up for us. But still, that was a very good game coming through from Alpha 7. They held the top of that mountain quite okay. How Brute Force, how RUKH ESPORTS and Intense game went out, I totally missed it because they were all on the top of that hill. I thought they had the high ground advantage, but CFMG, one way or the other, were able to deal so much damage. And speaking of damage, let us see that head-to-head that we've got and who we got that head-to-head between. And I think it will have to do like Alpha 7 and Intense game low-key because those two were the ones on the top of the hill. We'd like to see how much damage they were able to do. I don't really think RUKH ESPORTS did too much, but I think Alpha 7 and an Intense game on the top of the hill were able to put up quite good numbers up on the board. So yeah, that head-to-head will be loading up soon. Once again, as I said, I'm not promising, but I feel like that is the teams that will be there on the head-to-head. But yeah, we've already played 4 games. Do not go anywhere. We still have 1 more game to go as there are 5 games today. Are we getting the head-to-head? Yeah, so the head-to-head is going to be between Alpha 7 and REINCE with 8 kills apiece. Alpha 7 doing more damage obviously because of that high ground, 2600, and REINCE ESPORTS also been doing quite numbers in the background today. I wouldn't be surprised if they find themselves in that top 3, you know. 6 assists on both sides, 1 grenade helium coming in through for both sides, and every statistic almost seems the same apart from average survival time and damage with also the headshots. But every other thing does happen to be the same, you know. They were able to do just as good numbers. And speaking of damage and numbers, let us look at that damage chart. And I feel like Alpha 7 might actually be on top of that, and indeed they are. 2,627 damage with 8 elims. REINCE ESPORTS got 8 elims but with only 1,800 damage. 7th Element got 7 elims with 1,538. REINCE got 7 elims for 1,293. And sorry, make that Intense game. And then CMFXG, the Robin Hoods, getting 5 eliminations and 1,097 damage. And this just goes to show a lot, right? You kind of see the teams that we're wondering, and these are just the teams on the surface. We've not started talking about how much work RUKH ESPORTS were able to do. We've also not started talking about how much work that, you know, every other team that were in the lobby were able to do. So that was actually beautiful coming in through from them. I do not know if we're going to get the correct match rankings this time, but I really hope we do. I do not know if this is match rankings or this is overall from today, but I think I'm starting to feel like it is overall from today, as we see Intense game up there on number 1 with 48, CFMG in 2nd, Alpha 7 in 3rd, SPG in 4th, 7th Element in 5th, Brute Force in 6th, RUKH ESPORTS in 7th, REINCE getting themselves 24 points up on board, puts them in 8th. NASR, even despite having good games today, they're in 9th. The Regi side on 10th with 20, AINB in 11th with 16, Genesis with 10 points, MB Genesis in 6 points, NIGMA in 14th with 4 points. And well, like I said, I do not know if this is overalls or if this is just for the match rankings, but still, this is what we've got going on. We can see that some of these teams are able to gather themselves by good points. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to delay any further. We've got 1 more game to go. It's going to be none other but Erangel to seal the day off. So do not go anywhere. I will be right back with more 8-hour Stars Cup action, and see you soon. Alrighty, now I'm live. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the 8-hour Stars Cup. And guys, we are down to the final game of the day. I really wish I could tell you what the standings were, but I can tell you that it's a tight race between Alpha 7 and the players there from 7th Element. But we'll be finding that out, on social media just after this game. So that being said, let me know who you're rooting for in the chat. We're about to get into the final game of the day. We're going back to the roots. It's going to be none other but Erangel. So without wasting any further time, we'll be getting into the final game of the day. It's going to be Erangel. We're going to be having so much fun in there. I can already see that playing path. It's not the nicest of playing path, but well, you do not want to end the tournament on the nicest notes. So that being said, ready to that playing path, taking us all the way from the outskirts of Yasnaya, taking us to the waters there of the military island or the military base. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know places like Jojopol Hospital, not going to be within reach for too much. Even Severny, you're going to need a vehicle to get over there. School area, you should be fine. Pochinki, you should be fine. Or maybe it's not a bad playing path, you know? You can still make it all the way to Primorsk, Ferry Pier, the Quarry. If you're able to land around the outskirts of Pochinki, you can find yourself a couple of vehicles, drive all the way to Gatska, maybe it's not too bad. Alpha 7 once again going for that secondary drop spot. This time we do see A1 Esports going up against the players there from SPG in Yasnaya Poliana. We do know SPG being one of those teams that are not very accommodating when it comes to their drop location. So, and that zone almost looking similar to the first one that we had today. So I'm just pushing all the way towards that western front. Gonna be looking forward to seeing how the teams will play this one, and particularly Alpha 7, really. I'd like to see how Alpha 7 wants to play this one, given the way they played that first game. But anyway, we're gonna leave that talk for later. SPG just happens to be in their own engagement. They've lost one in terms of robs. A little bit of a trade right now. It's a 3v3 against the side of A1 Esports. It's a nice TBS though to get robs down. So now it's an even trade. It's a 1v1 trade, or 1-for-1 trade. Snow and the rest of SPG somewhere around in the background. You can see Terminus looking for that big brain play. Sketch does look to be the one about to collect the grenade now. That is going to ricochet just right in front of him, and that is the knock. And A1 Esports now down by another player now. The odds, the balance, the scale has been tipped as Brute Force does get taken out once again. And I really do not know where, but Brute Force is also out. So anyway, K9 for the side of A1 Esports does get spotted, taken out from behind. And Sinister will be the last player left to hold on the fort. He does move, so it means those footsteps has been heard. The pre-fire is coming in through, and it's only a matter of time. You cannot run forever. DPS in the hand, looking for the shot, but he would fall. And that is going to be SPG. Completing this fight out here, they lose one player, but they get themselves 4 eliminations and a shit ton of loot. But anyway, we did lose Brute Force in the background. RUKH Sports, I do not see them. So I'm a little bit concerned. I feel like there were also another team that was also in contention for that #1 spot. But it does look like RUKH Sports would be leaving or sitting this game out. Feels so sad because I feel like they would have been able to go for a little bit of a challenge. But hey, what can I say? Can't say too much, you know. But anyway, that is that. CFMG though in the military base. Nothing too surprising really. They're all alone there, so not too much trouble. This idea of REINCE looking for more shots or looking for more fights out in the outskirts of Pochinki against INCO as Ronaldinho will be the last player left. He's been spotted, and that would be a GG well played as we lose INCO again. This is a very, very high octane game as we've already seen the downfall of about 3 teams just getting started in this one. I believe we've lost 3 teams. Brute Force gone out early, INCO gone out, A1 Esports also out early, so it's not too fun, at least not for those teams. We're down to the final 11 teams to hold on the fort, and 11 teams already in zone 1, phase 1 becomes quite stressful. But in as much as there's 11 teams, this looks like a lot of teams that can actually be accommodated by that next circle or by the circle, because there's quite the number of water in there. Ooh, that is one sick ride. I believe that's the Aston Martin, right? It's a very nice vehicle. Intense game all the way there in South Jojopol. You see Alpha 7 now starting their rotation. This time they're not going to try to rotate all the way towards the north. It's going to be a different rotation pattern that we're going to see from Alpha 7. And Hyper holding up there in Gatska. You can tell that they're trying to play like the Nova, you know, hold up that position there in Gatska, try to see how well they can play. Pochinki is currently being held by the side there of REINCE Sports. The mans are just holding up to get themselves 4 sweet eliminations, you know, to the side. They got themselves 4 sweet eliminations as they got themselves the wipe, so you know that's a good start for them. Actually, RUKH Sports is in the lobby. That is good to see. I just wasn't looking up before. They have found their way all the way to Severny, so nothing to be worried about. So the chase is still on. You know, Alpha 7, RUKH Sports. These are 2 teams that, you know, could be giving the side there of 7th element a run for their money. I believe there's another team, I think it's going to be INTENCE game, also giving them a little bit of a run for their money, at least that are still alive, you know. I don't know if Naser will be up there, but I'm pretty sure Naser, they've also done quite the number of work, so yeah, they might just be able to be giving it a challenge for at least maybe that 3rd place or you know, 4th, but I don't think they will be able to contest for that first spot. I think the first spot lies between INTENCE game, Alpha 7, and 7th element. That will be the battle for the number 1 spot. Then maybe for number 3, we're gonna have, you know, RUKH Sports, side here of RUKH Sports, REINCE, maybe Genesis and Naser. That'll probably be teams that will be seen up there trying to battle for that 4th place, 5th place position. But hey, we do not know until the end of the day. As I said, this is just Crown's math, and you do not want to trust Crown's math at all. But we're starting to see rotations, players now getting taken out one after the other. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be seeing the map right now, but if you're not seeing the map, what you're supposed to be seeing, or what the map says, is that zone is out there on that western side. We have Hen Hyper looking to get to the bottom of Mount Everest. Out here on the top of school is where we have the side of Genesis Esports looking to get started with Alpha 7. With Alpha 7 being the one doing most of the damage though, getting themselves eliminations up on board. And now Alpha 7 already looking to get started with momentum. And we do know how well momentum plays in this game. Genesis Esports already losing 1, so that is not nice for them. Especially in the last game of the tournament, you want to make sure you're going out with a bang. Oh yeah, rotations is what we're seeing coming through. Out there on that southeastern edge, we have the side there of R3G. And that is Regi side. Nice. Regicide looking to take a fight up against 7th element. And 7th element realizing that this is not a fight that they need. You can already see them backing out of that fight, getting into the vehicles and just leaving the general situation. Leaving that position because they do not want that fight. They know that they have to play for that late game. They have all their competitors still alive. And that's what makes that race for number 1 kind of hard, because you know, even 7th element all day long, they've been playing so well. They've not really faltered today. But you know, the performances they've put up were just performances to keep increasing that lead, but not with the absolute crack-out performances that the side of Alpha 7 were getting. And now it does look like Alpha 7 looking to increase those elimination counts as they full send it up onto the side there of Naser, sending Naser back into the lobby. 4 eliminations to their name. They did lose Mafioso, but other than that, they do look to be fine for the time being. Zone does move down towards that south. Just a bit of a southern hard shift, but here comes Snowix and the rest of SPG to put in damage onto the side of Alpha 7. Alpha 7's frantically trying to grab themselves 1 revive, but Skaz is already in the situation. Might just spot out that revive now. Carillo looking to push up, maybe buy a little bit of time. Senab looking to get pushed from behind. The vehicle does come through, and I think that player was spotted in the smoke. Carillo trying to see if he can grab the revive, looking for 1, but cannot find. But from behind, it's going to be Senab to find one of the players there from SPG. HP's bar has been tagged down, and Skaz looking to push him from the side. The damage is being done through the smokes. Senab finds yet another, and Alpha 7 looking to redeem themselves. There's 1 more player left for the side there of SPG, and they would wonder, how have they gotten this one wrong? Senab has nothing but bandages. to try to get the HP back up. Terminus holding up as Carillo starts to supply the information. Saab now, not too much HP in the bag. Looking to get himself a first aid kit, maybe try to force that push as he starts to stun out those smokes. Trying to buy a little bit of time. Maybe baiting out Snowix to think he wants to go for a revive. But Snowix is falling for that bait. Here comes the push for the DBS in the hands there of Snowix, looking for the knock, but cannot find it. As Saab gets that beautiful 1v4, or maybe a 1v3, but he's clutched it up for his team. Able to revive Carillo there. But Alpha 7 are not going to be able to catch a break, at least not yet. As there is yet another team in the background there. It's going to be a grenade coming in through from Genesis Esports to send Alpha 7 packing. And I think that is going to kick them out of the race. They got themselves decent elims, Alpha 7, but it's not just enough. It's not enough to push out the players there from 7th Element. 7th Element have put up such good numbers and they're still alive in this game. 8 teams to go, but you cannot just count out that clutch coming through from the side there of Saab. It was very glorious. And what a play. SPG timed that third party too perfectly. But the smokes worked in favor of Alpha 7. FPP mode, Carillo buying so much time, doing so much damage. And SPG would suffer for that one though. They did have a good run today, but unfortunately not enough, at least for both teams, as they do get eliminated quite early. But Regicide though, not able to catch a break, as REINCE, or REINCE actually, REINCE, a team that we've been seeing do so well today, do catch them off guard. 3 players down for Regicide, and they're down to just rush on to hold down the fort, you know, just solo to see if they can get them a little bit of points up on board. But that blue zone now starting to push up. It's not the nicest of zone, you know. Stage 2, stage 3 actually, you know, phase 3 circle. That's what we're seeing. But you do not want to be drinking up that blue zone anyway. 8 teams left, and everyone does seem to need to want to get into that zone. Trying to see the 7th Elements now. You can see them being a little bit more proactive, now looking for more engagement, as we see them in vehicles now on that eastern edge, looking to challenge the side of RUKH ESPORTS, another team that might just be looking to contest for that #1 spot. ESPORTS started off today in 10th, or I believe. But have they done enough today, RUKH ESPORTS, to maybe even try to lace up the boots of 7th Element? Maybe even draw closer to them? I do not think so. But REINCE now, 7 eliminations. We've seen them have such a very crazy average going into today's games, really. And RUKH ESPORTS now inevitably get started with 7th Elements. And 7th Elements still alive, 7E. See them there. Alright, now we're going over there. And RUKH ESPORTS now down by 2. It's a trade. Maybe not an even one or a fair one. As it's going to be ET24. The last player left for the side of 7th Element. We've seen this player unlock his clutch factor in the first game. And he's got a grenade being prepped for RUKH ESPORTS. Lengthening it downstairs, but not quite able to find a knock. But T24 does get spotted, and that'll be all for 7th Element. 0 eliminations that they were able to secure, but 1 point in terms of placement. But the question remains, did Alpha 7 do enough to overshadow them, to take over the top of the boards? That's the question we've got in mind. As now INTENCE game pulling through, we know them, they've been third-party kings all through the tournament here. And they're also another team that might just be in contention for that #1 spot, but here comes the nades flying out towards the position, and Russia actually, Pusher, would be the one to swallow one. Default upstairs, trying to hold down the fort as RUKH ESPORTS, trying to buy themselves a little bit more time. 3 players left and more grenades as INTENCE game look to stop them on their forts. Default also falls, and more of the players there from INTENCE game looking to rotate away as Adrian falls also. There's a little bit of more third party coming in through, as the third party has been third party. Rami driving around in the distance, but here comes Genesis, doesn't quite spoil him as Magrelin finds 1 knock and another one to follow suit. The runover is good for 1 but not for 2. PBS in the hands of Magrelin is able to find yet another player. PUBG falls, and it's just the 1 player left as Genesis coming through for the third party, but it's not working up. It's Star to hold on the fort. The pre-fires are there, but it's not enough as Magrelin clutches that one up. Cello is very low on HP. Can he grab the revive? Indeed he will, as Magrelin being the hero here for the side of Intense game, and what an intense game we're having here. But here comes REINCE now for the third party. Sadness finds one of the players. They're up to 10 elims. And Sadness just driving up, trying to find some more, trying to gather information as to what is going on. But Intense game, they might just be ready for him. And Sadness is still driving up. 10 eliminations that they're able to gather. There's only one of them in the vicinity as Sadness pulls through, stops to take some shots to pop. But not quite able to find any. Where's the rest? As they try to form up. And now more grenades coming up. We've lost so many teams in just this shack, just this watchtower. Intense game down to 2. In what seems to be a run to maybe overtake the side of 7th element, or maybe even Alpha 7, but Magrelin does get run over, and it's just the one player left. Grenades being sent into the top of the building. Cielo has no choice but to fall outside, and down he falls. 12 eliminations as REINCE finally unlock a beast that we've been awaiting for days. They bring it in the final game of the tournament. We're down to the final 3 teams, and it's just stage 4. N-Hyper, CFMG, and the players there from REINCE are the last ones left. And CFMG definitely aware of that position being held by N-Hyper. But here comes REINCE. They've just been driving around, looking for shots, looking for fights wherever they can. And there we go, we do get started. CFMG finds Atomic from the side of REINCE. And REINCE now on the disadvantage. N-Hyper driving around looking for more shots as Rainbow seeks to find a revive. But Koi in a whole lot of danger, driving through the open fields. And it's only down to a slither of HP. Jumps out of the vehicle a little too early. And that is going to be N-Hyper down by 1. Atomic still looking for the revive. And does look like they will be able to pull it off. Smoke's already been thrown. And we're down to a final 4v4v4. Which one of the teams can take it home? NHP still down with 0 elims. Same thing can be said about CFMG. But the players there from REINCE, they've had their piece of action, taking up so many fights. And they're out here looking for more. As Shifan now does get spotted also. N-Hyper going out one after the other. CFMG now doing the damage as they secure themselves their first elim. Courtesy of Rowdy with the shots, but here comes REINCE now to find some more. 13 eliminations as they continue to steal some elims, down to 10 players. And REINCE, with the numbers that they're able to do in this game, I'm starting to believe that they might have what it takes. They might have what it takes to maybe overshadow or overtake maybe even everyone on the top of the boards, because 13 elims, we've seen them pull up RUKH out of a game today. Really, like all 5 games, REINCE have been able to do damage. I think they've been averaging about 7 eliminations per game. And it does look like CFMG though, pushing very close, a little too close for comfort to the side of N-Hyper. As N-Hyper looking to receive the visitors, and you can tell once REINCE hears those shots, they would want the action. And it is N-Hyper now on the defense. REINCE just driving around. You just tell that they're having fun, you know, going to the market, doing a little bit of shopping. I mean, the zone is very big, very, very big for just 3 teams. So you can tell why these guys are just looking to have as much fun as they can in this game. But here we go, REINCE do find a little bit of an off angle towards the side of CFMG. I'm not sure if CFMG is aware of this position here by Sadness, as Sadness does look to pull in from behind. Maybe find a little bit of a third party. Be an off angle, really. So they're out here in the outskirts of the quarry. The rest of REINCE, Joe, pulling in slowly but surely. Looking for that fight. You know that there isn't too many players alive. So you can see them just pushing up slowly. They know that they can do this one, but I think Rowdy is pretty much aware. We've now got grenades now. Here's where the barrage would start. But Rowdy though, not really aware. Those grenades are coming in through. They do land, but Rowdy is able to get out of dodge quite early. And yet another grenade is currently being cooked. Sadness, just throw it out. The shots come through, but not quite able to find the damaging blow there. Sadness continues to launch the grenade in there, but not quite able to find any to connect, as Rowdy's HP bars now back up. There are well of that cover fire coming in through from Mad Cat. But Flash also looking for a little bit of an alpha angle. Same thing can be said about Rainbow, who starts takes the shot towards the side of Flash. Flash now low on HP. CFMG on a very long split. Flash is able to find the knock up onto Rainbow, and REINCE might just be bottling this one as they start to lose players one after the other. Sadness in a little bit of panic mode as you see them try to form up, but here comes the push. DBS in the hands of Sadness, now aware of that player in there, but Flash falls as Asim finds that knock. Here comes the push. DBS in their hands, looking for the shots. Double barrels now, boom boom, not quite able to find any just yet as Sadness looks for the chase. The damage is done, down to a slither of HP. Rowdy Boy falls. It is now REINCE getting that revive back up. Mena party hear the shots, they want to come in through for the third party, and you can tell that that's what is on their mind. But REINCE continue to push up with the aggression. Oh, there we go. Atomic from behind finds yet another knock. As CFMG cannot even put their fingers on what has hit them right now. NIPAR in the background looking for the third party, and they've been spotted too as the shots now start to fly through. GK 1701 has been spotted. FSS in the background would be the last player left, and REINCE 15 eliminations, looking to break the most eliminations that we've seen so far in this tournament. NIPAR does go down to CFMG as Flash is able to find him. Does take the player down too on the side as Sadness continues to look for that angle. FSS probably aware of this move, or maybe wants to get into the vehicle now. But now FSS now spots Sadness moving on that one. Red dot scope on that M416 looking for the shots, able to find some more. Sadness on the return fire is excellent, 16. And now they're down to the last player. It's a 4v1. They know where the Flash is, and they just have to find him. REINCE looking for him, but Flash wants to deny the points. See him running towards that blue zone, and he knows the DBS in their hand, but can he pull off the 1v4? I'd like to see them try to fight it out, you know, maybe even go for like a pan fight. I feel like that would be one very interesting way to close out the tournament. But Flash just out here waiting, anticipating the push coming through from the side there of REINCE. But REINCE, is it too late for them to be popping off? 17 eliminations that they were able to get, and here comes Rainbow. He might have just had that player holster his weapon. Rainbow definitely aware, taking up those juices, goes for the jump shots, coming in from behind. Flash doesn't spot him. Flash with the DBS, not enough. And REINCE grab themselves an 18 elimination chicken dinner. And what a play coming through from them. We've been waiting for them. We saw traces of it coming through all day long. They were moving in slowly but surely. And in the final game of the day, they unlock their prowess. Show us just how much of a beast they are, REINCE, to get themselves the chicken dinner with the most eliminations that we've seen so far. 18. That is 28 points that they're able to get, and we do know 28 points could do a lot on that leaderboard. He was looking quite close this morning, earlier today. But have they done enough? Is that enough to keep them through, to make them win the tournament? That is the question we've got in mind, and the only answer to that question, you will find it on 8R Organization on the social media. But what a game. What a game. I really don't know who the head-to-head is going to be, because I do not, like, there's no one that can just stand close to them. I mean, RUKH ESPORTS, oh, it's just sad. I mean, 18 eliminations to 6. RUKH ESPORTS did a lot in terms of damage, and we've been seeing this coming through from RUKH ESPORTS all day long. You know, doing so much damage, but their elims have not just been matching up. But 2,832 damage is funny because they got 18 elims, but still not as much damage as we saw from Alpha 7 earlier today. But what a play. 9 assists, 8 knockouts, 18 eliminations. They were third-party kings. Came in through third-party almost every fight that happened, and they continued with that momentum to the end of the game. And maybe they have just played the game that will, you know, drive them to the top of the leaderboard, crown them winners of the event here being held by Stars, 8R Stars Cup. Oh, what a play. That was prowess at its finest. 7 eliminations coming through from Alpha 7, but was it enough? 6 from RUKH ESPORTS, was it enough? Intense game with 6, was it enough? SPG with 5. We know SPG was not in the race, but REINCE with this last game, they might have just done it. Alpha 7, 1,085 damage, 7 elims, and you've just got to give props to Saab. He tried to keep the team alive for so long in that engagement against SPG. Held on to his front, but that third party that came through from the side of Genesis was a little too much. They couldn't just handle it, and they had to go out in a dramatic fashion. But Alpha 7, you will give them that they did do it. They made their run. They might not have done enough to overshadow this idea of a 7th element on the top of the board, but still they put up a run, they put up a show. And at this point, I don't even know if 7th element would even be in the top 3. Given the way REINCE has played, Alpha 7 has played, even INTENCE game. Man, it is a really tough one, really. I can't say. And I do not know if we get the leaderboards or not, but this is not the exact leaderboard. This is just I do not know if it is just for today, but I know that this is not the leaderboard, you know. But even from here, you can see Alpha 7 44 points, INTENCE game 58 points. You know, 7th elements were only able to get themselves an extra 31. They came into today with a points lead of 13. You know, and that was over the side there of Falcons. We did see all of the other teams start with not too many points, but I have a feeling the match. I think every other team might have just done enough, you know. Even 34 points coming through from RUKH ESPORTS would have put them very close to 7th element. But hey, there's only one way to find out. You just want to put up. You can download the Meta Google app too. You might see it on there. But you follow our organization on Instagram and you will be able to see what those leaderboards does look like. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the 8-Hour Stars Cup coming into an end, coming to a close. The final game looking to be one, a very entertaining one. The last time we saw a game this entertaining was the Sanhok we witnessed yesterday. And bro, what a play. What a play, what a game. I'm really thankful to the side of Meta Google for, you know, bringing this one to us. And that would be a GG well played. We've been waiting for this tournament to end, and well, we are already getting towards that end. So a special thank you to our organization, to Meta Google. A big special thanks to the production behind my ears. My name is Crowns. Thank you all for tuning in once again. I really appreciate you all in the chat. But that will be all for the 8-Hour Stars Cup. And who we're going to crown the champions, we'll find out on social media. But that being said, stay safe, stay connected. You know the vibes, do not hack the game. Enjoy PUBG Mobile. And until the next time, bye-bye.